Oh, we in the living
I
room.
appreciate
said cheeks.
Mary Cheeks.
That shit echoed.
Cheeks.
Come on, man. We live.
Cheeks.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Oh, my bad.
Cheeks.
Live.
Mary Cheeks.
Motherfucker.
I only had one beer.
Happy New Cheeks.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's keep it professional. Let's keep it professional. Let's go. Let's go. Greetings, people, and welcome to You Know What It Is. It's Monday, fun day, day after the holiday, and you could be anywhere else in this world, but you're right here with us. So this is Comic Book Talk with Friends tonight. And we decided to have some fun tonight, man. We're going to have like some fun. Well, I consider it fun because we get a chance to bag out the best of the best or the worst of the worst, and we get to highlight the best of the best. So definitely, like I said, this is the best and worst of 2022 when it comes to the cinematic universe, whatever was basically in the streaming community, as well as comics. So we just gonna go all in and just have like own selective conversation about it. Nothing structured. It's just all out discussion. And I apologize if when we came in heavy with Cheeks content. We ain't here to talk about Cheeks tonight. So anyway,
Or are we? You ain't gonna talk about no Cheeks.
Man. Anyway, without further ado, let me just bring in my people, and then we'll get to the chat in just a few moments here. I just want to actually bring everybody in here. How y'all doing, man? How was y'all Christmas? We got all my brothers in here. We ready to actually go and have a cool conversation. Jedi Pimp, I'll start with you, man. How was your Christmas, brother?
I had a ball, man. Seeing the kids happy, and we had family over. It was cool. Big meal, and watching old movies and shit. I got cash, some figures. I'm great right now. I'm cooling, and I gotta get off here a little earlier tonight because I got an appointment. got an appointment later. Appointment.
You some bitch.
Get my shimmy on.
Why you gotta get your shimmy on?
I'm sorry, y'all. Get my shimmy on for that. Drink to that too.
Well put.
Yo. Okay.
Bag. I'm 47. Come on, man. I don't play no game.
Okay, check it out. So you got what figures did you get, bro? What figures did you get in here?
What did I get? I got another. I got 2 Beach Troopers. I didn't have any of those. I got 2 of those.
The short
I got
troopers,
another Death Trooper.
Oh, the short trooper. Yep.
Yeah, and 1 Stormtrooper regular because I didn't have any.
Gotcha.
So I got all Star Wars shit this time, and a couple of some cash to get something else. So
gotcha.
I'm happy with that. Oh, and I got a replacement Star Lord because my other one got the arm. So I don't know how my kids found it, but they did. But I got another Star Lord. Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. But your kids got it for you, bro. The baby's got it for you. That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what's up. That's what's up. Me myself, man, I got the Mark 1 War Machine from Iron Man 2, bro. I was so happy about it. I gotta pick that
shit up.
Hell
yeah.
Yeah, he definitely surprised me with it, bro. I was like, yeah, I'm all in. I'm so happy she got it, man. Because like that.
Did it come with the OG base?
Yes.
It came with the OG base, right?
It came with the base.
I gotta get that.
It came with the base, and even the paint application on the head sculpt is a bit different, but it's dope. It's dope.
For real?
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
That's what's up.
I love it. I definitely love it. It's definitely a piece you want to have in your collection, man. So anyway, thank you for sharing, bro. And I won't keep you too long. I know you got an appointment going on tonight.
You got an appointment.
V, what's going on with you, brother?
Chilling, man. I'm trying to get over this cold. I'm doing that snow removal in the rain the other week. That slowed me down a little
yeah.
bit. So if you see me log out, it's because I'm coughing or something. So I'll be right back. But yeah, like amazing time with the with the family over the weekend. It's always a pleasure, just like seeing the kids' faces light up with all the cool stuff, and then getting to play with their toys with them and stuff like that. So had a blast with the nieces and nephews, and family, and just like had an amazing time. I got some cool comic books. I got this Alex Ross graded and signed Masters of the Universe Revelations comic, and this was fire.
Dope.
Yeah, and it's a wraparound cover, so it has that on the back too. So, that was one of my favorites of the haul. Got a Mortal Hulk omnibus because I missed out on that run, so I got to catch up on that. And I got a couple something that's killing the children trades. I've been loving that, and I got a big Tom McFarlane Artist Edition book. That thing is fire, but I want to go through that when we do down the line when we do the Tom McFarlane show. So I'm gonna send you some scans of that, and then I'm sure eventually we'll cover Todd.
Yeah.
He's one of the pioneers. He's one of the greats.
Yeah, a lot of his stuff.
We can do that. We'll do that next Monday, as a matter of fact.
So when we get to him, I'll show off that book some. But man, I had a blast with the family. So great Christmas, great times with the family. Lots of new memories, lots of laughs. So awesome weekend.
You got any appointments tonight, bro?
Of course.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I can't keep you either. Okay, damn. All right.
Tis the season.
Okay.
It is the season.
It is the season.
The end of the year.
Butt naked, man. What's going on with you, bro? Like, how was your holiday, bro? How was everything? I see it was your daughter's birthday. Happy birthday to the young one.
Yeah, my daughter's
to the young
birthday.
princess.
My daughter's birthday was on the
happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday.
So she's 7 going on 17.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a good holiday. We had my parents and the in-laws over, cooked up a bunch of good food. I smoked a pork butt for some pulled pork for about 12 hours on Christmas Eve. So that was nice.
That's what I'm talking about.
So we had family over. My parents spent the night. Then when they left the next day, it was like we just kind of vegged out, just relaxed. My daughter and I, my oldest, we just binged all of Hawkeye. It's Christmas. We're like, let's throw that on. So did that. I'm actually wearing one of my Christmas gifts from my wife right now. And then she also picked up this omnibus for me. So this is Charles Soule's run on Daredevil Volume 5. This thing is a beast. I love it. So very happy for that. And similar to what Vinny just showed, I actually bought my wife the hardcover of the first volume of Something is Killing the Children. My wife's big into like horror and like creep. She loves just like movies that creep her the fuck out. And
it's a really fun read.
It's a great book. James Tynion is killing it on everything he does, and I knew that was a good thing for her. I go back into like every night, like I'll be doing this stream and then I'll walk into the bedroom when I'm done and she's watching like Skinwalker Ranch, like all those like creepy like reality shows and shit like that. She anytime there's like a creepy new series on Netflix that's like all messed up, like she's all for it. So Something is Killing the Children is right up. My parents were a little confused when they saw her open that and it was a book that said Something is Killing the Children.
They're like, what the hell is that?
With my kids right there, I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, it was really cool, chill holiday. I didn't get any figures as gifts, but I do have like 5 figures that I had already ordered that actually should all be delivered tomorrow or Wednesday.
Which ones?
Batman Begins, Batman Forever Sonar Suit, and Robin from Batman Forever.
So you got both of those, bro?
What? How would you get one and not the other?
I mean,
you got the Val Kilmer Batman.
Like, what are you going to buy, Robin and not Batman?
I mean,
or are you buy Batman
no, I'm just saying in general, man. You just The thing is, here's the thing. You can't take away from the simple fact that the motherfuckers look like masterpieces, bro. They're really, really dope.
They're
They do.
scale statues. Like they're not posable.
But they're not meant to be posable.
But the thing is, like,
they're not meant to be posable at all.
From jump, when they showed the prototypes, I was like, okay, yeah, those aren't going to be.
They
posable,
look stiff.
But they're just they look cool side by side, just standing there in that kind of like hero pose. I always knew that. So I'm not disappointed because I always knew that was going to be the case. Those rubberized suits that they use, yeah, man, I got 6-scale Robin with the quarter scale bulge, of course. That like you look at the Arkham.
If I get that, I'm shaving that.
Right? Look at the Arkham series Batman, right? Yeah. Like those suits were not posable, with the exception of the Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Those suits were
the
not.
Beyond was the best one.
They had the same bunching issue in the the armpit and the So it is what it is. I knew exactly what I was getting, and I'm not disappointed in that at all.
Gotcha.
So I've got Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Batman Begins, and then what else do I have coming? I have Captain Carter coming, and then the battling version of Spidey from No Way Home. So I've got all 5 of those. Should be here
now. With that that Batman Begins suit, is that one posable, or is it made more? Did they make it like more posable?
Yeah, Batman Begins is posable, but it's been getting a lot of flack.
Sorry, I was thinking Batman. I was thinking the Batman Beyond one that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
the Begins one is you can pose it in some ways, and then in others it's a little bit more restrictive. But like realistically,
so is it like the first one? Like the first one, like the original?
Did you? So hold up. So
this is a re-release.
Brendan, you said you have the Batman Begins on the way?
Yeah, the new 6-scale one that they just released, Batman Begins.
Okay.
I have the quarter scale already.
Yeah.
I have the quarter scale already.
Yeah, I know you got that one. Yeah.
And I know that there are all these criticisms about that particular figure and the inaccuracies. The suit is shinier than it should be. It's not the matte color that it should be.
It still works for me, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna get it
in
though.
the wrong place.
It still works for me.
The neck is a little long.
Yeah.
And then capes on Hot Toys figures 99 times out of 100 suck.
I always get custom, bro.
So like that wasn't really going to be a thing for me. I knew that. So yeah, it's like is it perfect? No. Do I want Batman Begins in 6-scale in my collection? Yes, and this is the way to get it.
Yeah.
I can live with the imperfection.
Yeah, I definitely want that.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I
think it's still gonna be good.
It's bro, once you get it in hand, that's the thing, is like the reference is going to be your own interpretation once you get it in hand.
Yeah.
Once you take it outside the box and you see it, it's not going to be as bad as it was presented by everybody else. I mean, the cow, you can't help what it is. If you decide to go the route of getting custom, you can get custom. If you decide to go the route of buying a cape, you can actually do that.
And look,
I know what I wanted that figure for.
Yeah, most of my capes are custom capes, bro.
I don't begrudge people who don't like the figure because for some people, like Dean Knight, for example, Batman Begins is his probably like favorite film of all time. It's definitely his favorite Batman. He's very emotionally attached to that, so he's super, super, focused on the real life accuracy of it. And Hot Toys very clearly, obviously, missed on a bunch of those markers. So for him, he's like, this is like a 2 out of 10. This is like and I get that. Like, it's subjective. For him, it's a 2 out of 10. For me, I think it's probably going to be more like an 8, like 7.5, 8. And I can live with that. But again, it's all subjective, just like all the shit we're going to talk about.
I'm going to watch Justin's video tonight about it. I'm going to watch the video tonight.
Watch
this one comes with it.
It's again, bro, like it's you get it in hand, it's going to be based off of what you want to get from it. And the thing is, I know what I got that figure for. I have the tumbler. That's the only reason why.
Me too.
Exactly. So I have my.
You have to look at it like this is like. Watch Dean Knight's review. Watch Justin's review. Watch anybody else who does it.
I'm gonna watch Justin's.
The actual facts, and then. Because they're going to offer their interpretation of it, be like, it does this, that's not accurate. And then they'll be like, that's inexcusable. This is the worst thing ever. And you may agree, or you may be like, I know what you mean that's inaccurate, but it's something I can live with.
Yeah.
And if you can't, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can live with that. So
I'm good with it.
Watch their reviews, and then you make your own call based on what you want for your collection, and maybe you line up with them, or maybe you don't. But like,
that's
we all like what we like. We don't like what we don't like.
All right. Well, let's.
You know what? If it's something that's a little off with it. If it's something that's a little off with it, I'm gonna just go to Unreal Customs. That's where I get all my capes and my posable heads for my Batman.
Yeah,
I'll just get it from them, boys.
There are a lot of options available, and so you just have to decide for yourself what those options are, and if you want to go down that road, or if you don't want to deal with the hassle, and then you make your own choice.
Yep, plain and simple.
True.
So before we actually jump in, I want to actually address the chat, but before I address the chat, bro, Brendan, do you have a fucking appointment tonight? Anyway, all right, so let's just basically address the chat real quick, bro. Let me just go in. Nasty motherfucker. Anyway, we got Charlie the Unicorn in here. We got Toe Bar, my man, Uncle Keith in here. One Pouch Man, welcome back, bro. Haven't seen you in a while. Charlie the Unicorn, Pat. We got Peyton 23. We got Hoth Hometown Heroes in here. Thank you for being here, brother. Who else we got? We got Two Ferns. Evangelium is in the building. We got, let's see, Pure Storage is in here. Thank you for being here, bro. We got Beskar Kid, my guy. Beskar Kid all day is in the building.
Yo, Beskar's he's got Imperial Disguised Gin coming tomorrow. That's what he's
my man, my bro.
Sweet pickup,
my bro. Yes.
Wait. Somebody found that? You can't find that nowhere.
He's got it as one of his presents coming in tomorrow.
Beskar Kid. That's what I'm talking about.
That's a killer.
That's what I'm talking about. Beskar Kid. Shout out
got it from eBay.
Kudos to Beskar Kid all day, my bro.
Thank you
for getting that. It's a definite good pickup, bro. I love that figure. Again, it's generous. So I love them both, bro. Plain and simple, I love them both. Who else we got in here? So yeah, proud of you, Beskar, man. That right there, bro, is a definite find for you, brother. We got Louis Labitz, Renz Talentino, the great Renz Talentino's in the building. We got R. Castro in the building. Thank you for being here, man. Malika Mabane all day. Let's see who else we got. Got a few more in here once my computer decides to move on. We got Shelf Scenes in the building. We got Mr. Mom's Collectibles in the building. CT603, Primetime Reviews. Luminar is here. Thank you for being here, baby. Who else we got? Lumi the Great is in the building. Let me see who else we got. Let's see who else we got. OG Mando is in the building all day. Justin McFly is here. Let me see here. And I got to give a shout out to Latoya T, bro, because on Saturday we did, she did her top 10. Her top 10 figures that I have in my collection, and she did such a bang up job. It was
bro, I gotta watch that, bro.
You gotta watch it, bro. It was fun. Because here's the thing, she did that, and
Doctor
then
Strange, Doctor Strange.
And then,
well,
you know what?
Tomorrow, man.
But here's the thing is,
Doctor Strange.
Right. But then this week, man, what to the building? Thank you for being here too. But then this weekend, she's going to do this. So this Saturday, she's going to do her top 10 worst figures in my collection that she absolutely hates. So I can't wait for that. That's going to be fun as all hell. It is.
Generous.
That's going to be more controversial, man.
Ray.
It's going to be controversial because I have no idea. I do not know. I have no idea.
She's gonna do it just to piss you off. She's gonna.
Toya, if you watching,
it's gonna be Ray.
Like Jen
Urso, please make Jen Urso. Yeah, make Jen Urso your number one hated.
Jen Urso and Ray.
You know what? She's
Jen Urso
gonna be
number one. Ray number two.
It's gonna be Jen Urso, and then she's gonna go to a pre-order. She's gonna damn a pre-order in advance. She's gonna it's gonna be Jen Urso. Then it's gonna be Fennec Shan. Then Jen Urso. Then Fennec Shan.
Yeah,
that's it.
Like that.
I hate you. I don't even know you, and I hate your guts.
So, anyway, thanks everybody for being here, man. It's going to be a great show. Again, this is going to be our. It's not even a top 10. You notice I didn't label it a top 10. We're just going to actually talk about the best and the worst of 2022. Like, and the thing is, I have to reference this by all things subjective, because what may be worse for me may not be worse for you. If you've loved it, then definitely we want you to support. We want you to address your opinions and let it be known. But if it has anything to do with Thor: Love and Thunder, you will get blocked. I'm just playing.
Shit, you might block everybody, man.
Just a joke. Shit. Anyway, thank you guys for being here as always, man. So yes, the topic tonight, of course, controversial. It could be controversial in a sense, but there's some controversial shit that happened in 2022, and we're going to talk about it, and all in fun. So yes, if you're watching, it is titled "The Best and Absolute Worst of 2022." All things subjective, as always. So let me start this really, really, really quick. I just want to start this really, really quick. Yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder was a bag of shit.
A hot one. Steaming one.
I'll just say here's the thing, and I can't say that without a
steaming fire.
I can't say that because here's the thing. We wanted it. If you've been watching the show, if all of you guys were watching the show from the beginning, even before the film dropped, when we got notification that they were doing Thor: Love and Thunder, we all here on this panel had high hopes for that movie. Like, definitely did. Knowing that they were going the route of Gore the God Butcher, knowing that we were going to finally get Mighty Thor, which I did love the Mighty Thor run in the comics, knowing that we were going to actually get that full-fledged, we wanted it. Me personally, I wanted it to be great.
Every announcement we got so excited for. Natalie Portman and Christian Bale. Every single announcement, man, gave us goosebumps until we saw the first footage. And then we were like, uh-oh. And then we were hesitant.
I think we was all hyped for that King Thor costume too. We all talked about that shit for like hours on here. And the first trailer, I think, or pictures we saw, like, what the what is this? It's not even Gore. Who is this guy?
It was hard. It was really like a hard thing to swallow going into the theaters. And the thing is, we talked about this. We were like, okay, well, if there's any inkling, now mind you, the only person that really dodged somewhat of a bullet was Vinny, because he didn't watch a single fucking trailer, which is good. So, but we talked about even some of the trailers that we were like, okay, I don't know, this looks iffy. It looks like there's a possibility that, I don't want them to stream more into like the comic value of it. If it becomes too comic booky, or like if it's not comic book, like comedian, if it's too
almost feel like I would have been. I almost feel like it would have been a bigger disappointment for me if I had gone the no trailers approach, because I kind of, as we got closer to the movie, my expectations started going down. Yeah. So I didn't feel. I mean, I was still disappointed with it, but I wasn't as disappointed, because I was like, shit, I think this is where they're going. I think this is, and because Lael, right up until that day one, you were texting me, dude, I'm nervous about this movie. I am not liking what it's right? So we kind of like our expectations started getting lower and lower each day going in, versus getting higher and higher as the excitement. Now, I will say for this one, and see what you guys think, and if it works for you too this way, but for me, I think one of the reasons, even though I was kind of lowering my expectations with each trailer because I was not liking that, I will say that for me, I think as we kept getting deeper and deeper into phase 4, and we were getting disappointed that there wasn't enough connective tissue and there wasn't that momentum that the other phases had, we started to put all our eggs in one or two baskets, and it was like, okay, Thor and Wakanda Forever are gonna fucking tie that. This is where we're gonna get the the connective tissue we're dying for. And so in that sense, it gave us higher expectations for those films to carry the rest of phase 4 on their back. And then Thor so epically did not do that. That it stung a little bit more, at least for me. I don't know how that worked for you guys, but that's how I felt.
Vinny, what were your like? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, see, you guys went through a roller coaster of emotions watching the trailers.
fucking
And
tears, man.
I might not have been
Yeah.
prepared for it being goofy via trailer, but I was prepared for it being goofy via Ragnarok because I knew it was.
Yeah.
I knew that there was no way that they were going to just abandon that formula that worked so well for them in the third movie, whether people were a fan of that or not.
still
It
Taika.
made them money, so and it was still Taika attached
Yep.
to it. And I knew that to mix that formula with two of the most heavy storylines that they've ever done between Jane's cancer and Gore's like just heart-ripping story in the comics of I mean Thor went through hell fighting Gore in the comics for a very very long stretch of time, so I knew that it would be a
Lost an arm.
difficult job to translate that to film from a regular director who takes shit seriously. So
this could have been his darkest movie.
I had a lot of fun with the comic book stories, and I kind of went into it with I didn't go into it low expectations because of the trailer. I went into it low expectations just because. So I was I walked away from the movie thinking that the black and white scenes with Gore were incredible, and that there wasn't really anything else to take home from that film, and it's thoroughly disappointing. But I have the comic books. Sometimes that's just how I have to look at things. I can reread those stories anytime I want, and I'm not going to get everything I want on screen. And that's just kind of this film was a life lesson in that regard.
Yeah,
and anybody who hasn't read the Gore the God Butcher book, like,
you're missing.
You should like go.
Just read it. It's very, very,
especially
very
if you.
It's a good story.
Go back and read it.
Yeah.
And you'll see what we were all hoping for, and you realize, well, those are great characters, and that's a really great journey, and it's a great story. Don't deprive yourself of that just because you didn't vibe with the movie, because those books are really good.
Yeah.
Hold up. Halt, what you mean, man? I'm trying to figure out what you mean. What did he say? I'm missing. Am I missing something? He said, "Man, my bad, homie. No disrespect." Hold up. Where we at? What did he say? Hold on, so.
I didn't see. I've been seeing the chat. I didn't see anything.
20% people hated it. I am in that 25%. He said, "I don't know. I'm trying to."
I think they're talking about the goats.
Oh, the goats. Okay.
Yeah, he's in agreement.
The goats.
Yeah, I don't know that there's only 25% of people who hate this movie. I think it's a bit higher than that.
Yeah.
It's way more than that.
Man. Yo, those goats. We'll talk about that.
Annoying.
I can't believe you
I wanted them to die, bro. No, I was saying, like, I wanted them to die, like an asteroid to hit their asses or something while they walking in space or something. I just wanted them to die. But even after the fact, when the movie came out, I think it was out for like a week or two. And there was a lot of interviews with Taika Waititi and with Chris Hemsworth together. I seen one on YouTube, and like I think even Chris said it in front of Taika, like he wanted less jokes in the story. I like, God damn, so Chris didn't like this shit. Like he didn't like
I don't think he didn't. I don't think he didn't like it. I think he wanted. I think Taika
wanted less jokes.
Turned the dial up to 11, and Chris was like, "Hey, how about like an 8 or a 9?"
Chris's PR for this has been all over the place though, because when Ragnarok was a hit, he was like, I was so burnt out after Dark Road. I didn't think that was the right way to go. And
he literally said the same thing.
Made it fun for me, so I like how Taika makes it more fun. It's so much more what I like to do. And then when everyone shit on Love and Thunder, he was like, "Well, fine then. I don't want to play Thor no more." And then after that, he was like, "Actually, all right, I'll come back, but I don't want to see all these jokes." So he's all over the place, man.
It's like I didn't understand that aspect of it, because he was saying at the very beginning he wanted
to been back and forth with it, bro.
And he loved Taika Waititi's approach.
He went through his own roller coaster emotions over this film.
Hold up, real quick. We got a $5 by One Pouch, man. I told my brother that Love and Thunder was highly entertaining car wreck that drove into a nuclear plant reactor. He was pissed at me.
Hey, look, some people can.
That's funny as hell.
Oh, this movie is like, there are movies where you're like, oh, this is so bad that it's good. Like it's so bad that it's fun to watch. maybe Thor: Love and Thunder is like that for some people. Like, and
I absolutely can see
maybe.
that. I mean, I know for a fact that there's films, especially comic book films, that suck for me that other people enjoy, and I understand why, because they don't have any attachment to it. So for them, who cares if they fucked up with someone's origin or powers or what they can do if it was just a decent movie? Because there's movies I felt like, man, if this wasn't, X this title and it was just some sci-fi movie or some movie or some action film, it'd been fine.
Like Flash Gordon or something.
You know what I mean? Like, it just sucks because I know what it should be. So I try to play devil's advocate myself sometimes, but I get people liking it.
It's about eras and so. I mean, look, we have different expectations now as the game gets elevated when it comes to the filmmaking process for these movies and these shows. It's like, look, I love Greatest American Hero, but if they made something of that quality on Disney Plus right now, that would get shit on, right? Like,
of course, yeah.
But you know what the difference with Greatest American Hero is that was the reference we got earlier on in our childhood.
For their time,
we knew
it was.
Make it
now. They had to work before that period.
You know what I mean?
Greatest American Hero was supposed to be a comedy, so it was all fun. Now, if they do, if they make a Century movie and say, "Cool, let's make it like Greatest American Hero," then we got problems.
They're gonna have real problems.
We got problems.
I'll be pissed. I will be pissed.
Yeah, I'll be mad as hell.
I will be pissed.
I don't know, man. It was so many things in this movie, man. I just didn't, especially the whole design of Gore. I didn't like. Yeah. He looked nothing like the comics. And then the whole okay, kids, we're gonna beat him together. Here's some of my power. What the hell? Like, you could just give kids your power? Like, what?
They were like, hey, where's for Shazam?
So Vinny made me just think of something. Vinny made me think of something real quick. I just want to ask you guys. I won't spoil it by saying what book or any details, but I'm curious. Have any of you read anything recently that points to what is being done with Sentry in Marvel Comics?
I'm behind on. I'm reading, so I'm not sure.
Recently?
No.
Yep.
Not recently, no.
Very recently.
I haven't, because now here's the thing. I just got
oh man.
Tomorrow,
don't say nothing, man.
Wednesday I get my comic pull because, like I said, next week I'm on vacation. Well, small vacation. So again, I'm going back and starting reading everything. Spending my time.
You'll know when you get to it. Just hit me up and let me know what you think.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Oh hell no.
Are they
what happened, yo?
No, I'm not saying it. I'm not spoiling it.
Is he bad again?
I'm not spoiling it. I'm just asking if people know where they think.
Man, hit me in a private chat. I want to know. I hate when you do that.
So here's the thing.
Hit me in a private chat.
I'll wait.
I want to know what it
I'll
is.
wait.
I want to know
until I read it, and then I'll kind of put two and two together at that aspect. We need to get down that road yet. Who knows where they're going to go with Sentry? I don't even want to think about it right now. Hopefully, at least Kevin Feige has the sense to know how important that character is. Even on top of that, it's more serious considering the simple fact that the character himself deals with mental health, and that's what I'm saying.
That's their whole bag lately.
Yeah, like that character. So if they divert away from that, then that's gonna. I don't know. If they,
I always thought. You know who I always thought of as Sentry, like. And admittedly he'd have to get, well, he's dead now, so he wouldn't, but like if he was still alive, he would have had to get pretty jacked.
Who?
But Swayze.
Patrick Swayze?
Yep.
Oh man, he'd have been perfect
think
Sentry, bro.
Him as Bodhi.
But he had to be big.
But just
had to be big, yeah.
Right?
Bodhi
from Point Break, but Jack.
Yeah.
So all right, let's all right. Since we're
I can see him as Sentry.
Since we're there right now, real quick, because I don't want to divert away from topic, but I'm gonna ask y'all really quick because we know that this is where they're. Well, Vinny, you've heard it, right? At least you've heard that they're trying to introduce Sentry. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, with Thunderbolts.
So,
yeah.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think? As far as the Sentry, who do you think now could really portray that role and do it well? If you had to pick one individual, who do you think could really pick up that role and portray it well? Who you can see right now?
I don't know.
I gotta look up his name because I can't remember how to pronounce it.
You can't?
I already know mine.
Hold on, I got.
Everybody gonna laugh when I say
Gosling
mine.
has been in the discussion.
Yeah.
How tall is he?
All right,
He's
I know
short.
who. I know who I want for it.
Who, Vinny?
He's 6
Alexander
foot.
Skarsgård.
Alexander Skarsgård.
Northman. Yeah, he's been in the discussion.
Which one is that?
The Northman. You can't leave that movie without wanting a whole Thor series based on him. And if I can't have that, give me a Mad Century.
Yeah.
Okay.
If anyone out there hasn't watched The Northman, it's the greatest Thor movie we'll never have.
Yeah.
So
The Northman's dope as fuck. It is. It's definitely dope as fuck. I love the film, and I could definitely see him as Sentry. I could definitely see him as Sentry. He would definitely be my pick for Sentry because I think that he can pull off both roles.
He can pull off both.
You know what I mean? He could definitely pull off both roles. So
I think I got somebody for.
Who you got?
Sentry or Hyperion would be Cavill. Go ahead and laugh.
I knew you were going to say that, bro. I kind of knew you were going to say that.
Go ahead and laugh.
Can you see him with blonde hair though?
Who, Cavill?
Yeah.
He had white hair.
No, Witcher, but that was like white. Like it was like that was a very but like as a blonde, I don't know. I think
I don't know. Maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe. It was Hyperion's brown hair, right?
I think he'd look a little too
Hyperion,
much like
hair.
Wong Fu from Julie Newmar with Love, kind of with blonde hair.
Okay, Evangelium.
Maybe. Maybe. I agree.
Because he did merge with the Void and he flew off. Now, is he back as the same iteration? So that's what I want to know because that's what I
wait. Him and the Void are back together again?
He merged with the Void and became something totally different. Like he has black hair.
Oh God. I didn't know that.
What I'm saying. Yeah, but he didn't deem Earth worthy enough or anybody worthy enough for his existence, and he left. So if he's back now, like let me know. That would be incredible to really talk about. I want to see that. I mean, I'm just going to know that. Fuck you, Brendan. I fuck you, bro. Like
I didn't say shit.
Motherfucker. Anyway, all right.
Once you just tell me, I want to know in the chat, bro. Say
just because I pulled it up and I'm looking at it on my iPad right now. The book.
Anyway,
man, just say.
Oh nope. Anyway,
that's like fucking with Leo.
I'm about to look for.
Let me pull up this next film because, like I said, I mean, it's one that really doesn't get a lot of chit chat and it didn't really get talked about. I just wanted to pull this up. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna be bouncing in from MCU to comics to DC. We're gonna bounce back and forth here. But I want to kind of pull this one up really quick because again, it gets a mixed bag. There are some people who like it and some people who dislike it. So I just want to talk about it. And that's this film, Black Widow. Now, again,
was that this year?
That one.
No,
that was the beginning of the year.
Was that 2021?
That was in January, right?
It was like November, December.
Okay, we can say 2021. We'll say 2021.
No, we can still talk about it.
That's the end of the year. So
it was the end of the year going into 2022, but it was 2021. So we can kind of dip back and forth in it because it was really dawn around the time. The reason why I bring it up because it doesn't really get talked about, but it's fair. Well, that's the thing. So I'm all right. I'm bringing this up for a reason, for the simple fact that again we got.
I thought it was okay though.
Nah, I love the first 20 minutes and I hated the rest.
Here's the thing: we got two characters from the film that are now going to be in the Thunderbolts. So we know that we'll actually have Yelena.
Oh, Taskmaster was trash.
Three characters: Yelena, Taskmaster, and Red Guardian are going to be part of
Red Guardian. Yeah.
But this is basically where it started. And the reason why I basically bring this up now, the Thunderbolts team, based on this film, is full of like assassins, mercenaries, and nobody that I would deem except for the Red Guardian that really poses a threat. Yet, what they're saying is we're going to get Sentry in this film.
I don't know if I believe that rumor, to be perfectly honest.
You saw that too today?
There's nothing
as ridiculous as Suicide Squad fighting Enchantress.
They said rumors.
Starro. So they figure, hey, no one cared that Suicide Squad should be taking on Starro. No one cared that they took on Enchantress, which is like both Justice League damn near level villains. So I guess they figure, hey, who will care if who cares? These guys take on Sentry if we write it with enough cleverness. Or just nerf the shit out of Sentry. because they can make because for all we know they can make for all we know they can make Sentry just like Super Soldier level instead of
Superman. So, well, they were saying that he's going to be on the team originally, and then all of a sudden he started hearing voices and he turns bad or whatever. Like we all know he's crazy, but
it's all just internet rumors.
They're saying that's what I say. It's rumor. It's just rumors.
Yeah,
it's just rumor.
That's what he's asking us to speak on.
The villain. Yeah, he could show up but not be a villain. If he's the main antagonist, the person that the team is going up against, then yeah, it's pretty stupid. I'm hoping that the Thunderbolts is less about that and is more along the lines of Captain America Winter Soldier for a couple reasons. One, I think the team is more suited to something like that when you've got spies like Yelena, you've got Ghost, you've got Red Guardian, you've got Taskmaster. I think that, and you've got Bucky in there. And you look at the ties that each of these characters have in the MCU right now, right? So you've got, again, Yelena is a spy. We've got Bucky who has ties to Wakanda, and we're coming out of the whole thing with, in Wakanda Forever, where we're getting into that more geopolitical nature, right? Where the Thunderbolts could be more of a spy-driven thing, dealing with the geopolitics when it comes to Talocan and Wakanda and the US's interests and things and stuff like that. So I think that, and I mean, also since he has ties to Yelena and other characters, you could even bring in Hawkeye at some point if they are so inclined, because Hawkeye, even right now in the books, is the leader of this iteration of the Thunderbolts, which admittedly is not
if they do it
Thunderbolts,
right.
But like they could still do that. So if this is more of a street level or like espionage type thing, that kind of political thriller style in the vein of Winter Soldier, I'd be down with that. And I think they can do that and do that well. And I think it has to have some level of stakes to it because it's the finale of phase 5, right? It's the last film in that phase. So, with that,
Thunderbolts is, and
you got Bucky and the others with their ties to Sharon Carter and Madripoor. Like, I think there's a lot of groundwork already laid for it to be a more espionage focused part of the MCU. So I'm hoping that that's what we get, and I'm down for that. Yeah. But I am in agreement if they make Sentry the main antagonist of that film, then they either have to all of a sudden make them the team ridiculously OP, which isn't consistent with what they've already done, or they have to nerf the fuck out of him or completely change who he is, in which case that is bad. So I'm hoping that it's not that. Maybe Sentry is like a post-credits thing, or like he comes in but he's not their antagonist or something. I don't know. But yeah, if they make him the antagonist of that movie, I don't see how that would work. Hopefully they.
Well, there's rumors about what's the one from the Eternals? The one that was about they call it it's supposed to be an island now or something, and that's where they're going to introduce Animatium. Like he has Animatium on him, the one that was almost being born from the
Animatium on Sentry.
No, not on Sentry, on that island, the one that was coming out of the earth.
You're talking about the
from the Eternals.
Yes.
Yeah, from the Eternals.
I remember that.
I've heard
his name.
You're
It's rumors.
Yeah.
Rumors.
Well, the Eternals 2 is all but confirmed now, but
it's what?
The Eternals 2? The one of I can't remember which one. One of the actors, like agent, like let it leak that like that's what he's working on next. But like the Eternals 2 is happening.
Yeah, that was
which we knew eventually.
With the way the first one ended, like you can't do something like that and then not address it.
Yeah.
So with the Celestials taking them off and like putting them on trial, and Star Fox and Pip at the end, like it had to. So they may change their kind of approach to the sequel based on how the first one was received. But we knew they were going to do it.
Yeah,
it's just a cleanup right now because they have to clean up.
They have to clean that up,
a whole bunch of shit.
That
because
first
a lot
one
of stuff
was
didn't really make sense.
not good.
Ended the way they did.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to bring back the director. They may not bring her back.
I don't
think
think so.
Somebody totally different.
I don't think so. Yeah.
You know what I mean? A different iteration.
I didn't like how Icarus died. I didn't like how Icarus died.
Well, the
bro.
thing
I
is,
didn't
he
like.
can die however he wants. He's going to come back because they're technically not.
That's the whole thing about the
Yeah.
Eternals is that
they come back.
So they could absolutely bring him back. I think for the sequel,
the whole point is supposed to be that they can
bring
come back
in-
and they have single one of them do it in the film. But I
Yeah.
don't want to get into it.
I think
Yeah,
they're gonna bring a lot
they have
more
other bodies.
back in this movie. I think the Eternals 2 is going to rely on a lot of other MCU characters, whether it's introducing new ones like mutants or something, or it's bringing in like a Doctor Strange. But I think they're going to pull in other corners of the MCU to kind of bolster it so that people are sold on the idea of the sequel.
Well, I mean,
that's true.
We're here now. We are talking about this right now, so we will talk about the Eternals. Our thoughts on this film and whether or not it, because it again another film that met with like a bit of controversy. Of course, we know that. Expectations for some was cool. Others felt as though it was a bag of shit. All things subjective. I can't really say where I fall with it. I thought that it had. Here's the thing. Myself, I enjoyed it for what it was because I respected the attempt and I knew exactly what she was going for. And I knew that it was, the interpretation, the film itself was through the eyes of the creators. It's in a sense, it had very little to do with, mankind, but more so the Eternals, their look on mankind through the years. And my biggest gripe with the film was how they did the deviants. I thought that was the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah, they were trash.
That aspect of it, how you did the deviants to me really didn't play well. But besides that, I happen to enjoy the film, but I can't speak for everybody.
You're right, but I think it was a good movie, but a bad Eternals movie.
Yeah,
like I think if you take the Eternals out of the mix as far as the comic books, and it's just like, oh, I don't know anything about the IP, and I'm just gonna watch this. And no, admittedly, some people know nothing about the Eternals and still didn't like the movie. It's all subjective. For me personally, I could look at it and be like, I enjoyed a lot of this movie.
Yeah.
But if you're like hardcore, like as the Eternals and thinking about those old school books, then no. Or even the new, like the new
even
run
the Gaiman one
just did the Gaiman, but even the new run that they just did leading into Axe Judgment Day was solid, was really good, and that was so much the emotional struggle that the Eternals dealt with and the fractured nature of their relationship with one another was so much better in this current run leading up to Judgment Day than it was in the movie itself. So absolutely, it was not perfect, but there were still a lot of elements that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But I can absolutely say as an Eternals movie, it wasn't good.
It wasn't that good.
I always wonder, like, after seeing movies like Eternals and stuff like that, it's like, why don't they reach out to more of the writers that are writing the comics, that are writing the current lines? I mean, if they had more of their input, I think these movies would be better.
In some cases, they do. In some cases they do, and then in others they don't. I think it comes down to whichever kind of core team is in charge of that particular show or that particular movie, as far as how much they really reference versus how much they want to try and be like, okay, we're going to do something in the spirit of that, but I want to tell my own story, new story that isn't like from.
That's where they mess up. Run. Yeah.
It depends. I think sometimes they do that and they do it well, and sometimes they don't. But I think it comes down to like the creative team for each film.
Because the question is, like, are they listening to them or just taking aspects of
I don't
what
think they consult with writers a lot. They can read the books and come up with their own stories for it. I think we all give writers for these films a lot of feedback one way or another when they change things. The reason why Marvel doesn't catch much shit for it is because they change tons of shit all the time too, but Marvel usually makes a lot of good decisions when changing things, which are also great ideas, which makes it hard to criticize because it's IPs we know with a new twist, so it's something new for us too. And when it's good, nobody says shit because we got something new. Fans who don't know got something new. Everybody wins. But when it's shit, then it's like, oh, why don't you do it like the comics? So I don't think the answer
It's a
is always
double-edged sword, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the answer is always, man. If they would have talked to the writers who've worked on these Eternals books or whatever, that
I
it
don't
would
think that
have
would have
helped
changed anything.
because they're also
yeah.
Because they're working with two different. You have two different goals in the the goals in the comics are for whatever the goal that Marvel was editorial team was trying to do whatever year that came out. When they're writing this movie, they're working on their Phase 4 story. Even if it doesn't seem like it connects, it might have shit that we don't know about that they wanted to do or connect.
Yeah.
They might have they might have motives or agendas that they want to do and they want to plan, and that would get messy if they were worried about some the writer who wrote on the books on how they would do it, like, because they can get the idea of what the characters are from reading it, just like we do. So it's all those. It's one of those things where it only blows up when it's bad. When it works good, they look like geniuses.
Yeah,
because you know what? One thing that always bothered me from the Marvel side of the house is the whole Ultron origin, how they did it for the movies.
And
because we grew up with Hank Pym. Me
but
too.
When they did it,
Me too,
it made sense because I knew how messy it would have been.
Yeah.
To tell it the regular.
Now don't get right. I love Stark. Don't get me wrong. I love Tony Stark. I love the iteration of Tony Stark in the Marvel cinema.
Right.
But it's just like to not
them,
have
it made
Hank
sense
Pym
because it was so much easier just to say Tony instead of all that exposition.
Yeah.
Hank
and
Pym,
on top of that, they didn't want the drama that came with the storyline with Hank Pym.
At that point,
so
they're trying to
him.
They don't want. They were trying to establish themselves. They don't want soccer moms buying their kids.
Exactly.
They don't want soccer moms.
Because we all know what happened.
Wait, he's spraying wasp with Raid. Trying to beat up his wife. Nah,
well, it would have been crazy because somebody would have basically went back, and this is how. Listen,
this was in the beginning of the cancel area. This was during Me Too movement.
Listen how stupid this sounds, though. People would have basically went back and said, "Oh, but y'all missed the Hank Pym story on Twitter. What he said or what he did back in the day. Like, this is what I'm saying. That's how stupid that this shit gets. Is a simple fact that something like that, which is a story in a book that was written years ago, mind you, there was only there was only like a one issue that focused on that aspect of Hank Pym.
Of Hank and his wife.
Of that, again, Marvel. I mean, right? And look, and I completely get it, and I understand it because you don't really want to promote that level of whatever. But if you rewrite the character a certain way with no reference to that, then it completely changes it. So, but again, they're going to do what they want to do, how they want to do it.
There's also a thing too, not particularly with Hank Pym, but more with like the Eternals, for example, where, and we said this in the past with Star Wars too, right?
Yeah.
Like, give me a fucking villain, not a redemption arc, right? Give me a villain that I just love to hate, right? And a lot of the characters in the Eternals are dicks, okay? Like Druig. Yeah. Druig is like he's like a even more dickhead version of like Loki. Like he's like in the books, especially like his whole role in Axe Judgment Day just recently. Like, he's a son of a bitch, right? Yeah. Let Barry Keoghan play him like that in the movie, right? I more than that, I kind of didn't really love the way they, even though I love Salma Hayek, the way they had her play Ajax. Like, she was
underused.
She's a much more complex character and not this like wholesome kind of pure character.
Wholesome motherly character.
Right? Cersei. Like, imagine if they let Angelina Jolie go to town with that character like she is in the books, man. Right?
Yeah.
There's so much more depth to it. So, like, those are the kinds of things where I feel like sometimes they're afraid to embrace the way a character is in the books because they think that people won't like them. And it's like, no, complex characters, that's what really is going to sell a lot of these, right? Make people hate them, make people love to hate them, or make people conflicted, make people be like, oh man, this character is like really cool, but oh, you're kind of a prick. Like, I kind of want you to die, but I don't know. Make people like invested in the characters. Yeah. And I think that was a big problem for the Eternals, is that there weren't really characters that you felt really invested in, like that you were really rooting for or rooting against, right?
So you think
like,
that was the problem? That was the problem. Like they didn't really invest from who they were from the comics to on screen as well as they should have.
Yeah, exactly. And so I misspoke earlier when I said Cersei for Angelina Jolie. I meant
Athena.
I meant Athena, but
Athena.
but Cersei and Icarus. There was
Icarus,
no chemistry between them
at all,
in the movie, right?
at all.
And it's
yeah.
like, do your chemistry tests like they do often in Hollywood to see if these two, look, that the whole romance side of that thing should have just been scrapped because it just didn't work. Those actors, while good actors in their own right, did not have chemistry together. And they leaned into, well, we really want to make this happen, and it wasn't even something that was really necessary based on the source material too.
Yeah.
I think it's just let characters be
who they are.
Let them be people that you want to root against. It's okay. Not everybody has to be the Captain America, the Iron Man. And I think that's, especially when you have a roster of, there's 10 of them in there. You can afford to let a couple of them be pricks.
Yeah, you definitely could. We got a $5 super chat really quick. Let me just pull it up here. From Hall's Hometown Hero, Eternals is going to be like Age of Ultron. Nobody is going to like it till later when the context of it makes sense fully to the rest of the world.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible depending on how they write it. Because here's the thing, like right now, the way it was. So here's the thing. When I look at all right, perfect similarity. This Ang Lee's Hulk.
Oh God, don't.
So the reason why I put it, because again, this also Ang Lee's Hulk and how it was done. The thing is, it's like they wanted to focus more on this emotional turmoil between him and his father, and that trope. Just like with the Eternals, it was more of their compassion and empathy for humanity.
For humanity, yeah.
In the books,
they don't give a fuck.
The Eternals didn't give two shits in a sense. Yes, they might have been put here. They weren't put here to protect humanity. They were put here to safeguard the earth so that none of its minerals were drained. Everything was actually in place. Yes, humanity was able to evolve, but when it was time for them to motherfucking
Even when in the books currently, the only one of them who really gave two shits about humanity was Phastos.
Yeah, the only person the only person who basically did. But the thing is, there was always selfish intent, and I think if they would have went down that road. Again, like there's ways that you can write it, but here's the thing, and I say this because it's one of those things that Marvel does that kind of irks me. You get a director who's very popular, and they feel as though they want to nab that director and bring him in, thinking that they're going to give this award-winning, or they're going to actually direct in this award-winning type of film. If you haven't been thrusted into the Marvel universe, and if you don't have the know-how, if you don't have the attention, you have to have read. Look, again, don't rush it. Don't rush the process. Read the content, read the source material, understand the characters. And I'm pretty sure they did, but sometimes you have to regulate. Like fighting has to regulate. And we know that
they did pretty good.
For
the most part, they
did. But when it comes to the deviants, when it comes to basically how they looked at humanity, especially when you bring up Druid, bro, he doesn't give a fuck. And that's the part that I like. I'm like, come on, man. Like that spin on it to me was.
I think you're exactly right. I think it's like Star Wars. It's like, look, Rian Johnson, really good writer director. Probably not the guy to bring in
for Star Wars at all.
Right?
No.
But he's you look at Knives Out and stuff like. Dude is a really talented filmmaker.
Yeah,
not everybody is built to make a Star Wars movie,
no,
right?
no.
Yeah,
and I think the same thing here with the Eternals is that she's a really good director.
Yeah,
right? But I think it just, I think she missed what makes the Eternals. And admittedly, they're not an A-list book to most people, right? But I think she missed the core of what the people who really like the Eternals liked about them or liked to hate them for, you know what I mean? And didn't really lean into the right things.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how much she actually did or did not like read of the books, because she read every fucking Eternals book and then been like,
nah,
all right, well, I don't really like all that. I'm going to they want me to make this film. Okay, but I want to do it my way. That's entirely possible. I don't know.
Yeah.
I doubt
but see, it's like just because the director got a big name, I don't even sway to that no more, because I want a good movie. So you could be one of the greatest directors in the world and still make a bum ass movie for Marvel or DC. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes with the directors, it's like it can go 50-50. Either it's going to be a good movie or it's going to suck. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
they've got what's his name directing the Fantastic Four that did WandaVision, right?
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
And I think they're recognizing that more, and they want to bring in more people that are maybe younger. Like, I think you're going to see a lot more people that direct episodes or entire series on Disney Plus
that are nobodies
and get promoted to directing some of the films in the MCU.
It's going to be like Lily.
They're basically. I think they're going to groom new filmmakers to come up in the Marvel.
Disney Plus show is going to be Little League. So they're going to give people, especially when they start going to those special presentation formats like Werewolf by Night, they're going to start giving people an hour special, and then if they knock it out of the park, they're like, all right, they'll bump them up and give them a film.
Like, I wouldn't be shocked if Michael Giacchino got a film to direct. Maybe a Werewolf by Night film after doing the Halloween special
or something in that tone.
Yeah.
So you want more directors that hold comics, in my opinion, close to the chest.
Not
you know what I'm saying?
The point is, readers. Like if you have what you see with Disney and Star Wars is you see a lot of them going after a director and then them not being a good fit, and then you get the ball rolling and then it doesn't work and they're like, oh shit, we got to start over. But with Marvel, they have like basically these, they have television to work with so that they could see if they can do things the Marvel way. You know what I mean? I mean,
the Marvel way. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they get along, if they're with the program. I hate to put it like this because it's not really fair, but they have such a tight structure of all the different things that they're juggling. They can't afford too many Ryan Johnsons to come in and say, oh, I want to break up the mold and do it my way, because they're trying to have a bit. They're always trying to do a big long. No, they're going to have films which they want to feel, look, and be completely, their own thing, which we've seen a lot of in Phase 4. But for the most part, I think they want people to who are going to be good with working well with others. You know what I mean? They're not going to want people to come in there and be like, listen, how you guys did things before is there's a new sheriff in town. They're not going to bring in a James Cameron who will not want to hear nothing from nobody. They're going to bring in people who are, going to work well with, all the different things that they have in motion. They already said, we've seen reports like they have a Marvel formula of different things that, set the amount of action pieces they want to see in each film, amount of, shots and locations and stuff like that. I'm sure not every director wants to have those constraints. And then there's other filmmakers that like have no problem with it and they get along well with it and make great films.
What Vinny said is right, though. What they're going to do is they're going to take more people from the TV side. Like Disney Plus is going to be that kind of farm system for them. But people like, Matt, what's his name, that is going to be doing Fantastic Four from WandaVision, right? That dude directed episodes of Game of Thrones. And like a bunch of different, but he directed episodes of New Girl. So he did comedy, he did half-hour stuff. Yeah. He did, TV with really high production value. I mean, doing an episode of Game of Thrones is like shooting a movie, right? So stuff like that, you're going to get more and more of those that are going to be doing that. And I think we're going to see a lot more of those guys who are completely unknowns or people who are hot up-and-comers who've only done maybe one or two movies. Like, think about Ryan Coogler, all right? Ryan Coogler is one of the most respected filmmakers on the planet right now. He's only done a very small number of films, right? They brought him in because he was hot, and they saw the magic that he created, and they're like, we can work with this guy. So I think we're going to see a lot more of those and a lot less of the – obviously somebody like Tarantino who keeps shitting on,
his point. But this is something that's just defeating that point because, like you said, like they, these movies made a lot of actors household names and a lot of directors too. The Russo brothers weren't a household name before. I think
hell no.
There's a lot of filmmakers, a lot of actors who these films propelled. So I feel like, but that's a big part is them having, it's a two-way street. There is a system, there is a confinement that you can't just get any director who's a superstar to come in and do these films. They have to be able to work within a MCU system.
My thing is maybe directors like the ones that did the Loki show and WandaVision, they are them two, whoever they are perfect directors for movies, This guy has Fantastic Four from WandaVision. I'm totally happy with that. Like WandaVision was from start to finish, like I loved it. Only part I didn't like about WandaVision was the old Pietro thing. Other than that, like WandaVision.
The only black guy in the whole series is still the GOAT Disney Plus series to me.
Yeah, me too. That and Loki are the GOAT movie.
It's funny because there are plenty of directors out there, and there are plenty of for all the and again there are directors like Tarantino who I really like, but James Cameron. Directors I really like, but saying stuff that they shouldn't be about the MCU, and partly because they're old school and maybe they don't like so much superhero stuff, right now. But the reality is, there are all these actors. I mean, you had fucking Anthony Hopkins in the MCU, all right? You can't, all these, and then even just, recently the other day, interview where the rumor broke that, and he kind of coyly, he wouldn't actually deny it, that Daniel Craig, it was scheduling, so he wasn't able to do it, but he was originally supposed to have a cameo in Multiverse of Madness as Balder the Brave.
Okay. Wow. What?
Yeah,
I'd like to see Daniel in Marvel for sure.
And then they were like, could you, so we know that that's not on the table anymore, but could you ever see yourself in the MCU? And he was like, oh, I could only be so lucky. Fucking 007 is being like, are you kidding me? Hell yeah. Harrison Ford is in the fucking MCU now, right?
Yeah. Big Red Hawk.
So, you're going to have some holdouts, but ultimately, 99% of people would absolutely be like, I'll be in an MCU movie.
Hell yeah. I want that MCU money. Especially if I portray the character well, I know it's going to be sustainable. Hell yeah, I'll take that. So
we're not going to have a lack of talent that is going to be a problem for the MCU moving forward. That is never going to be the problem. It's going to
I got a great feeling about Harrison Ford.
Writing good stories.
Yeah. Harrison Ford I got a great feeling about him being Thunderbolt Ross, man.
Okay.
I think he's going to kill it.
So check this out, though. So I want to switch. I want to switch over to another film. I know this is going to be kind of controversial for Brendan, considering the director. But I'm just going to tackle it anyway, and that is the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange. Now, Brendan, I know
that controversial to me at all, dude.
It is because you don't like. I know that you basically do not like.
I don't
Sam
vibe
Raimi.
with Sam Raimi's style in general, and I think that the original Spider-Man trilogy was a pile of dicks. But I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed this movie.
Blasphemy.
Why can't you say that, bro?
Yeah,
Come
man.
on,
you know what? Because what happened was all of the
blasphemy,
physical copies.
If we didn't have Tobey Maguire, we wouldn't have them now.
All the physical copies of those first three Spider-Man movies blew up and just landed all over the beach in the Suicide Squad, and that was just the beach full of dicks that Peacemaker was talking about having to pick up. Right? Just all a beach full of dicks. It was just all dicks. That was the Spider-Man trilogy. But I enjoyed this movie. I thought Multiverse of Madness, flawed, was still a very enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it just because Sam Raimi directed it. I went in with an open mind. I enjoyed it.
Okay, so here's the thing. And I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I did. I enjoyed everything about the film. I mean, say what you will about, the scene with the Illuminati. The Illuminati. Just to have the Illuminati on screen, at least some of them on screen,
for seconds.
Still, I mean, just to even have them and then have a direct, at least have a positive, more accurate representation, a Black Bolt, I was okay with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, granted, to see Professor X in, pretty much the, the wheelchair that we all know and love, and to hear that theme,
and the music,
the music is so to see, that again who we basically see our interpretation of, when it comes to, Reed Richards played out on screen. I mean, even though it was
to see a badass Scarlet Witch
and to see a badass Wanda, you know what I mean? Wanda Maximoff. I was all in with this film. Like, bro, I watch it literally almost once a week because I love the film. And it's subjective. A lot of people won't, but I love the film. That's why I don't understand why a lot of people the hatred towards it. But I mean, again, I just always have to keep in mind that it's subjective to everybody else who did not like it. I thought it was awesome. Vinny, what did you think, bro?
Yeah, it was my second favorite comic book movie this year. I mean, it was the Illuminati sequence was the epitome of fan service. It had the read that, I'd say probably 90% of Fantastic Four fans have been screaming at from the mountaintops. For a decade, if not, for a long time. And I don't know if we'll get to see him, in the upcoming version, but at least like all the other things that we got, at least we got that. Like, I don't know if they'll ever give us a Black Bolt.
I hope
we got this.
Him.
I don't know if we'll ever get a perfect casting for Reed, but we got this perfect casting for Reed. Like, it was a whole bunch of cool moments that didn't have the longevity that I would have liked to see, but it's cool that we got to see just at least a taste of it instead of absolutely nothing. It was cool seeing that just unthinkable moment of Professor X in it in a way that doesn't mess up the future. Like, I don't want to see recasted Fox people in MCU's X-Men, but this is a dope workaround. So this gives everybody what they want. Like, even if you didn't want to see them in their new versions, you got to see them in MCU. This was a loophole. And the very frustrating part is the nonstop critiques of the Illuminati being taken out by Scarlet as being a negative thing on Reed and Black Bolt's part, as opposed to what it was supposed to do. It wasn't supposed to show you how dumb Reed is or how stupid Black Bolt's powers is. It was supposed to show you how powerful Wanda is, and how her power is now reality warping. So
against one version of the Illuminati, not every version.
Yeah, like their Wanda was just very powerful telekinesis. So who the fuck cares if she and magic? So who the fuck cares if she can throw cars around? And she was not a threat to them. So they had no way of knowing that. And when I've watched it again recently, Doctor Strange didn't say shit about she could just, change reality and just turn you into a fucking frog. He didn't say shit about that.
He just said you're underestimating her power.
That's all he did. He said you're underestimating her power, and he's like, yeah, we know she can like do bewitch your mind and shit, and she can throw cars around. Yeah, we see that. We're not worried about that.
They're thinking about Age of Ultron.
They're thinking of Age of Ultron. Exactly. But they're not even thinking of Scarlet Witch. They're thinking of Wanda Maximoff, who couldn't do any of that shit. The whole point was he didn't explain just how dangerous it was, and partially, I mean, that was their fault for not letting him speak and explain to a degree. But he could have spoke. He could have said more elaborate detail what she could do, but it's one of those things where the whole point of that sequence was the same as Thanos taking out Hulk in the beginning of Infinity War, to show you how badass he is at the expense of the powerful character. So they, instead of doing it with one, unstoppable Hulk, they did it with a whole team of unstoppable, superheroes. It's a tight film. There's very little lag. It's so great. It's really greatly paced. America Chavez is fire, and it's such an amazing actress.
I love that. Actress.
I love her, bro.
She killed it.
I loved her, bro.
Wong is good in it without being overbearing. The comedy is The comedy is organic. It doesn't beat you over the head.
It's not all jokey.
It's not balanced. But there's jokes in it. But it blends around, and they're telling jokes as the action is going. They don't stop the action to a halt to have a bit. You know what I mean? Like the point isn't the point of the comedy in that movie is like, look, here's this joke, here's this gag. No, it's in the flow of whatever action.
Just like Wakanda Forever could do it.
It's such a great film. The only thing that sucks is it could have been even better, because it was almost a fucking horror movie that would have been such a different animal. And you can tell in the film how the original version that they scrapped and switched to this Raimi version, you could tell was rewritten and switched because they didn't think that they could really get away with a horror movie like this. And there's not a ton that connects to the the future of the MCU like we thought they would be. And part of that is on us, right? For thinking, Multiverse of Madness, of course, is going to be the gateway to Fantastic Four or X-Men. And then when it isn't, then people are mad at it. It's like, hey, they didn't promise that it would be. You thought it would be. And when it isn't, it's not their fault.
We had expectations.
It's not their fault that it didn't do all these other things that they didn't fucking promise. Just like, it's not WandaVision's fault because Mephisto wasn't in it. Like, you thought he would be. It doesn't mean it.
Exactly.
You
You built that expectation. They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't say he was going to be in it at all, and they gave you no references that he would. You believe
so
that
sometimes we got to get out of our own way and enjoy films for what they are. And I feel like if, like, when you watch this again with now that expectations you had going into it, it's so strong of a film, and it has its problems. There's things that are like wonky, but there's a lot that it does great. And I think one of the things that it does in an amazing level is that people don't talk about is they went from what happened in WandaVision and took it right into this film without spending a half an hour explaining it, and it added that cohesion of Phase 4 with the beginning of the Disney Plus shows with WandaVision. I mean, when she's playing with it, tucking her kids and playing, and then just wakes up and they aren't there. That's fucking punch in the stomach. And, anybody who has kids, like they fucking get it. You will do anything for your kids. So when the 2638 or whatever it was, Wanda comes up to her and is like, I get it. I'd do the same shit if I was like, that was so fucking powerful to me. There's a lot of beats in this that are phenomenal. And I think it's definitely an underrated movie that I feel like is on a roller coaster of whether people like it or hate it. But I think eventually people will come around, and this will be a cult favorite down the line.
And you hit it right on the head too when you said, and because it's something that John Campea and Robert Meyer Burnett both have said too, right? Where it's like that Illuminati scene was the ultimate example of fan service. Okay. They did it because it's like, look, you might not get John Krasinski to commit to fucking 10 years of his life in the MCU with like 3 movies as a Fantastic Four as Reed Richards, right? You may not be able to do all this, but if we're not, Kevin Feige is looking at it as like, we're probably not going to be able to do that, but we can at least give the fans what they've been wanting in just a little taste of it. So they at least they'll get that, right? But then so many people were getting so upset, be like, oh, you can't give us just that and then not. It's like, motherfucker, he tried to give you something.
Exactly.
Right? He tried to give you Black Bolt,
at least
Professor
something.
X, so at least enjoy that moment.
For what it is.
Because I'm not done with the X-Men comment. They're not going to do the fucking Inhumans too. And on top of Eternals, they only have so many groups of power.
So just enjoy what they
get
did.
it.
Like, it was literally the definition of fan service. They did that.
Fan service done right.
Exactly. There's fan service that is pandering. This was, look, guys, we know the hardcore fans really want this. We don't think we're going to be able to do this long term, but we want to do you a solid and give you something. Here you go. Just enjoy this for what it is. And people still bitch about it. And that's one of the biggest criticisms that I hear people levy at this movie was the Illuminati and the cameos. And I'm like, motherfuckers, just be happy for a minute.
Be happy.
You know what? After I watched this movie I watched it like 10 times, and like the first time, I loved it, seeing it, but my biggest gripe was, damn, Illuminati was going mad quick. But then you appreciate the fact that they put them all together for all of us. I'm a spoiled fan. Marvel has been spoiling me for a while as far as fan service is concerned. You know what I'm saying? And even with the part where they went through the multiverse and you saw Noir's
you saw
Spider-Man Noir's world. I was like, just show him in the overcoat. I wanted to see him so bad, bro. I was like, damn, they didn't show him. But for the fact that they gave us all that though, bro. For those couple of seconds, I can appreciate them for doing that, man. I really can now. you know,
And like
yeah,
Peyton
it's like
in
Mr.
the
Fantastic
chat
wasn't
says,
dumb. That was a different. I mean,
yeah,
you're going off knowledge that you had that his whole universe did.
They had no idea what Wanda was capable of.
That's like watching a horror movie and saying, "Idiot, he's in the closet." Like, we know that because we were watching the movie. You don't. They didn't know that in the house.
Brendan, and that's what I'm saying. Brendan, you just hit on something real quick, and that's the point. Is that for that universe, they only went off of that universe's version of Wanda. Yep. They had no idea that they were dealing with the Wanda, from the main, or what they want to call 616 at that point.
This girl been with the Darkhold for a couple years.
Exactly.
Now.
She's held it for a while, so she kind of knows.
No, but here's the thing: even with the Darkhold, she shouldn't have been that powerful. So they were like, "Yeah, we know what she can do with the Darkhold. We ain't worried about that."
Not to mention,
but she has a whole nother skill set that they have no idea.
A level.
So it's like, you're going into that with knowledge. The characters in the film don't
chaos magic. Her chaos magic has nothing to do with the Darkhold. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
not to mention, like, look, Reed Richards, like the highest intellect in Marvel, right, in the 616, but he has countless times in the books fucked up. He's made mistakes because he's all right. Yeah. That's not discounting his intellect, but that doesn't mean he applies it in the right way every time. Because if he did and he made the right decision in every scenario, he'd be a boring character, right? He's human. He fucks up. He makes mistakes. Okay. And this was not a failure of his brain power. It was more like he was going on the limited facts that he had.
He didn't fuck up an equation.
All of the info that we as the audience had.
Right.
Yeah.
There's different types of he didn't fuck up an equation.
Yeah. It wasn't that he couldn't figure out technology and how to make it work in their favor or this and that. He fucked up on
he underestimated somebody.
I underestimated the power of my enemy
from another universe that he had no way.
He underestimated her.
Yeah. Because again, the unknown,
that was the only flaw.
Multiverse, and again, we haven't seen. I mean, in the books, of course, we know what Reed Richards builds and how he knows a lot about the multiverse and how he's basically able. Because again, different iterations of himself, what they actually say the council of Reeds.
The council of Reeds.
Exactly.
It's like if they were going to fight Spider-Man, thinking, okay, we know what Spider-Man is, but it was a version of a multiverse Spider-Man who had the power cosmic.
Yeah,
the Doc Ock Spider-Man.
Exactly.
The power cosmic Spider-Man, and then
Supreme Spider-Man.
The cosmic Spider-Man is a totally different person, so they didn't know.
Yeah, so basically,
definitely on the best list.
This is one of the best ones. Yeah.
So let me definitely one of the best ones that was out there. So I want to touch on me myself. Again, not too many people, because we're going to switch around again and just kind of get in and out of different things. We hit up like partially the MCU when it comes to the cinematic universe. I want to touch on some of the Disney Plus shows as well, some of the HBO Max shows, but then also some comics as well. One of my most disappointing runs, and we talked about it a bit before the show, was the latest iteration of, again, I'm a fan of Miles Morales. I'm just going to tell you that. I'm a fan of Miles Morales as a character. And what they have done to him as of late, I knew once they changed that costume, it was just, it was something that this whole year I had my complaints about. I don't like the direction that they've taken him, in a sense, because again, without really explaining it, it's like he's already self-aware, but it's just like not dumbing the character down, but it's just like taking him on his journey that I'm like, come on, man, I'm just not into. If you've read the latest, like, I guess they're trying to do a rehash of the character, so they're going back and they're saying, okay, cool, we're not going to touch on some of the things that we touched on. We're going to actually change the suit. That black high fluorescent Bruce Lee suit that he had. He was part of the sweatsuit mafia. I don't know what it was.
Sweatsuit mafia. Yeah, that crazy.
Suit I did not like, man. I did not like.
He picked that up at TJ Maxx.
For real, for a half price.
Yeah,
It was rough. It was rough.
It was definitely rough. I didn't like, where they've taken him. And what it Yuli the kid, second kid out, because I mean I know what you're definitely talking about here. Fucking Beyond Corporation had Ben Riley try to tell Miles cease and desist. Yeah. Like it I don't know. Have you guys read any of you guys read the latest run of Miles Morales?
Yeah.
Miles too.
So
But
Miles
First two.
Miles has been disappointing this year, and then just a couple weeks back we had the new number one, right? And I even have it right here because I bought it. I wanted it to be good, but I was skeptical because of the creative team. But at least they did go back to the more classic suit and got rid of that god awful one. So that's something. Also gave two amazing variant covers: this graffiti cover and then this Peach Momoko cover, which I love. So
hold on. Let me ring you in real quick.
I'm super happy, from an art standpoint with these books, with these covers, right?
Yeah, they're dope.
I absolutely love them. Like, there's some great art that we're getting in these variants today.
Yeah, I like that.
The story itself was like okay. It was underwhelming. It wasn't like so god awful offensive. But it was just disappointing because it's a number one, and it's like, all right, if you're gonna start at number one, like, give us momentum, give us something, a jumping off point, something that really feels powerful, and like I'm excited about where we're gonna go. Right, I've got fucking Miles right here next to me. I want this to work. It just didn't, and that particular writer on this, I'm not throwing his name out because I don't like shitting on creators, but I'm just saying I'm not a fan of his from stuff that he's done in Marvel in the past. He was also one of the writers on the She-Hulk show, which I was not pleased with. So I was going into this with tempered expectations, but even that, like I said, the story itself is basic, but not like amazing. Or amazingly bad, but the dialogue, this dude cannot write. The dialogue is so cringeworthy. It's so just god awful bad that I'm like, I don't understand it. I don't understand how you think that anybody would speak or sound like that. And it really makes it painful to read. And bad dialogue is the kiss of death when it comes to a Spider-Man book, right? Like, you gotta be able to deliver that.
It's sort of like they wanted to make him a product of his environment, but they went overboard, as if to say, especially from the earlier iteration of we got of Miles. My point is, you didn't have to do that.
No, not at all.
You didn't,
completely
because
unnecessary.
the thing is, it's like Miles, like, he was already a relatable character before you added this dialogue, and it's sort of like you're trying to make him like over the top for reasons that aren't necessary. Like, literally,
you're turning him into a caricature, not a three-dimensional character. And the thing is, it just sucks because this is happening at the same time that the Amazing Spider-Man book is also floundering, is also just a struggle, and is just not firing on all cylinders. And this is the 60th anniversary of Spider-Man. Of Peter Parker, but still of Spidey. So, like, I was really hopeful in 2022 for great Peter Parker and great Miles Morales stories, and I just feel like got a couple issues here and there that I was like, okay, this is good. And there were some good miniseries that have been going with Peter, but the main Amazing Spider-Man book and then the Miles runs have just been one of my biggest disappointments for the entire year.
Yeah, you said the latest Spider-Man run.
Yeah, the Amazing Spider-Man that had like the whole Beyond stuff with Ben Riley, that led into Dark Web right now, and I think that's why a lot of people are kind of like on the Dark Web, because, to be honest, my biggest disappointments have been the Spider-Man side this year, and then also the X books. I feel like there have been some standouts that were really good. X-Men Red, Immortal X-Men. I've really loved what they've done with Storm and with with Magneto, right? Magneto and Judgment Day was phenomenal, right? But on the whole, I feel like the X-Men has been just kind of like middle of the road when I had high expectations for that. So that, and then Spider-Man, and then Dark Web is taking two of my larger disappointments for the year, and they're the centerpiece for this Dark Web. It's X-Men and Spider-Man. And it's just, I feel like they're not making people care enough to the point where the side issues, the tie-in issues for the Dark Web series so far, I feel like have been more interesting than the main Spider-Man and X-Men books. So yeah, I feel across the board
Web is again, I've been disappointed because, well, at least the first couple, because I haven't really finished the run, but
they're still in the middle of it.
They're still in the middle of it, but I haven't, because I've only read like the first couple of issues. But it's, to me, it's like, okay, how do we? Here's the thing: is you don't have to make important characters relevant if the story itself is written well and these characters are already relevant. It sort of feels like they're running out of ways to make them important. So it's like, all right, let's just merge the two in a comic, create this storyline, Dark Web, where it doesn't, so far from what I'm reading, and I'm guessing there's going to be gain interest as we go, connective tissue to me that makes zero sense so far.
It's also just kind of like they've basically just taken Ben Reilly and Madeline Pryor, two characters that could have really good stories, right? And they're not using them the right way to actually make them compelling villains that you actually can kind of see where they're coming from, but you still know that they're the bad guys and they got to go down. Like you just don't. You're more like kind of all right. I'm not feeling anything. There's no really good villain. They're just going into the same kind of clone character tropes that they've done a lot in comics over the last couple decades that people have not really liked, and they're doubling down on that. And it's like Madeline Pryor could be a great character for them to really go into if people are familiar, right? And they're not really touching on anything that would actually tap into that for her or for Ben Reilly. So then you just don't really care that much about. And like I said, the tie-ins that they've done, the Ms. Marvel one, the Black Cat and Mary Jane one, and surprisingly, the Gold Goblin one with Norman Osborn have been more even though I hate the name and the look of that Gold Goblin suit. What they're actually trying to touch on thematically with that book and with the others has been more interesting than the actual Peter Parker and X-Men focused main parts of Dark Web.
Yeah, I just, again, I'll jump back into it next week if I can. Which I will, because like I said, I have more time, vacation time next week, just to kind of jump and dive in. But again, it so far from what I'm looking at right now is just like, it is a big, huge disappointment for me. And I'm just wondering where they're going to actually go with it. Who knows? Again, I respect the writers. I expect their interpretation, their approach. But when you're taking characters that were already well established and they already have so much writtenness to us, and I can understand, like, if you write the story where it has, again, I'm just gonna stay reserved until I'm finished, because that's the only way I can actually see it.
You're muted, Vinny.
Yeah, what were you gonna say, Vinny?
Yeah, my fault. Can I segue Spider-Man to I just want to throw it in real quick. Unpopular sleeper pick. It's on my best instead of my worst list, because I never got to talk about on the show because I was so far behind watching it. But I'm one of the very few people on this earth who actually enjoyed Morbius. It just had to be said.
You know what? You must have read my mind, because I was just about to bring this up. I was literally.
I figured we weren't even going to talk about it, because it's like not only is shit on, but people don't even talk about it at all. It's like it's ignored.
Nope, I was going to bring it up. That was my next.
It was better than Venom's. Let There Be Carnage. Absolutely,
it shocked the shit out of me. I was like, I knew I should have fucking just like went and seen it and just. I just figured because Venom was so bad, it would be bad too. But it was like a totally different team, or it's like Sony didn't know what Morbius was and just let them do it on their own.
The lack of blood was ridiculous, but
I wish there had been more blood.
That,
but I actually like the special effects of how they moved and shit. I actually like the story. And mind you, I also watched it like a week or two after Love and Thunder, so I enjoyed that it was a serious comic book film. It's rare. I fucking love Morbius.
It had the most nonsensical post-credit scene, though. That was just ridiculous.
I totally exclude the post-credit scene from my review. That made no fucking sense at all.
Yeah,
everything about the regular film.
Morbius was not an offensively bad movie.
I don't know. It's like it's a meme.
It could have been a lot better, but
it's like it's fun to shit on it, and I feel like so many people who do like never even watched it.
It's fun to basically carry. It's fun. It's always fun to carry on Chinese whispers without really knowing what it is you're talking about.
Yeah,
because you've heard it from other individuals, unless you've seen the property and formulated your own opinion. Because I guarantee you, if half the people actually saw it, they would look at it a totally different way and be like, okay, it wasn't the best of the best, but it wasn't actually bad as well. Because for me, I saw it and I appreciated I appreciated the effects.
Yeah,
I like
the effects were so great.
Best of the best.
It's the effects are really great, and unlike Venom, it's a film that is fine for a standalone. Because think about it, we say a lot of films like, oh, if you take the IP off of it, it'd make it good. Like if you take Morbius off of it, this is a good vampire film. Like take the superhero element out, and this is a character that can survive without Spider-Man. Like there's characters that are like Venom or Green Goblin or Doc Ock that it's so bizarre to not see them together. But I've seen and read plenty of Morbius stories where it's incidental that they have a lot to do with each other. It's just mostly it's like another one of his creature/scientist rogues, and it's not like Venom where it makes no fucking sense for Spider-Man not to have anything to do with that film. This was a good film. It was great pacing, like very little comedy. The story made sense. The actors killed it.
Can we agree though that there was literally no purpose for Tyrese's character to be there? He literally did nothing.
I love this movie.
He affected the outcome in no way whatsoever.
No, but the special.
Give us a name.
I really dug. That flight sequence was like. Man, that was really
the fight was good. The
fighting was good. The flight sequence, him learning his powers was amazing.
Yeah,
kind of like
that scene was
kind of like the swirls from kind of like the super speed swirls as he's flying, like the trails of whatever it was supposed to be. It was so much better than anyone gave it a chance.
I liked some of the CG, and then some of the scenes I was like, oh, that looks like video game like. So I wasn't sold on all of the CG.
I was sold on
the effort was there, and it was way better than Venom's.
Yeah,
I thought it was better than Venom. It was better than Venom.
Listen,
not better than Venom.
Absolutely.
Listen, I thought what they did with Michael Morbius himself.
Was
what
good.
They did with him as a character was good.
His background, the story was
background, his story, and also basically him and his best friend. You know what I mean? At that time, you know what I mean. So I thought it wasn't. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this. It was 10 times better than Thor: Love and Thunder, in my opinion.
Ooh,
you're
gonna have some people mad at you.
They could have given more meat for
but it's true. It's true.
For actors the caliber of Jared Leto and Matt Smith, I think they could have given them a little bit more time to really explore those characters. But at least it wasn't an over bloated kind of like, oh my god, this
over comedy
and this is so bad, right?
It was so serious.
Yeah, I wish that they would have just been like, all right, let's just let there be blood. Like, that would have, I think, gone a long way to this people not being so, are you kidding me with some of it? Like, but yeah, I think that they made, this is one of those things where they made an effort, and I won't, I'll give Sony shit when I think they deserve it, and they make some ridiculous choices, but I don't know. I mean, we're also getting the Hypno Hustler, so we'll see. Look, I'll tell you, because it's Donald Glover, I think this might be, and he can pretty much do whatever the fuck he wants with that movie.
I know, but
this might be a sleeper. Like, honestly.
No, man. Look, everybody got it all wrong. If you are a Spider-Man fan, look. If you are a Spider-Man fan and you're hoping that Sony makes individual films for his Rogues Gallery, there's no way that you're not hoping for it. 1, Venom, 2, Morbius, 3, Hypno Hustler. These are got to be in your top 3.
Absolutely.
Bro, sorry.
This shit is so. But like, think about it.
I'm sorry.
Think about it, though.
I'm
all right.
sorry.
Now it sounds absolutely fucking absurd. And we can't forget we got El Muerto too. We got Bad Bunny playing El Muerto. But here's the thing: for somebody with the talent of Donald Glover to say, "I want to make that movie," out of anything that they would let him do.
Yeah.
I've got an idea for Hypno Hustler. That makes me think that this might end up being one of those shocking, like, nobody saw it coming, and holy shit, this movie is fucking amazing. I'm not saying it's gonna be like the best comic book movie I'm saying I think Donald Glover has got an idea and he's gonna do something that's gonna be highly entertaining.
Vinny, this would be. I'm just okay. V, I'm letting you know this, bro. I'm letting you know this right now. If this fucking movie comes here and somebody makes an event, I'm not going to. I'm just telling you this. I'm not going to go. I'm not doing it. I will wait. I'll wait.
You're telling me you will not go see Hypno Hustler in the theater?
Now, when that trailer drops,
nope. Nah. It's gonna probably be the one thing that I'm not interested in, bro, at all.
This movie is why Donald Glover is too busy to do a Lando series, though.
Bro, listen.
When they make this, like, when that trailer hits, like
America,
like Black Dynamite.
I'm gonna say this: the reason why I think this is gonna work for him, and it's in his wheelhouse. Anybody who has actually seen the last season of Atlanta, you'll know why this works. Because this last season of Atlanta was gone. It was in a place that I have never. It was the multiverse of what Atlanta started was. How it actually started. This shit was strange. So it makes sense that Donald Glover would do some shit like this. Literally, if Sony's giving him that space and he wants to do it, if they pay, no.
I bet you $100 right now, $100. You will go see that movie in the theaters.
You might as well just give me the money now.
I will bet you $100 right now. You will go see this movie in the theater.
I bet you $100.
He's gonna be in the theater in a trench coat and a top hat, like
watch
like
I mean, I wouldn't know if you've seen it on your own on the side.
I want you to stamp this shit. And I'll even have Latoya to witness. I am not going to see this movie in the theater, and I'm letting you know this right now.
You're gonna be like this.
You're gonna be like this in the theater. First trailer drops.
Here you go.
First trailer drops.
Right here in the theater, right here.
If Tom Holland says himself that he's in it, I will fucking know.
I'm gonna tell you what. You're gonna go see this movie
right here in the first row.
And here's the thing. I don't want $100 in cash.
Out of here.
I don't want $100 in cash. I want you to write me a check for $100, and I'm not even gonna cash the motherfucker. I'm gonna frame it and put it on my wall.
If I can shake your fucking hand,
you're gonna go see this movie.
Just be ready, bro. Give me my $100. You might as well just give me my shit right now. Because I tell you like this, I hated the run in comics. I hated that fucking character, bro, because it was a senseless, dumbass character, and I thought it was a fucking trope and blasphemy, to be quite honest. I'm like, yo, you make this motherfucking. It's like really making fun of black exploitation back then, and that's what they did with this fucking.
And when
character,
Donald Glover flips it on its head and does something masterful, you're gonna be like, motherfucker, you know what it is? Me like it.
He's going to try to make whatchamacallit? What's my man?
Yeah.
It's gonna
Black
be like
Dynamite.
Black Dynamite.
Michael Jai White.
Yeah.
That
Black Dynamite. That's exactly what he's going to try to do.
Jason, you laughing, bro?
Bro, he's going to do Michael Jai White, Black Dynamite with Hypno Hustler.
Yo, I'm not.
Yo, Jason. When you hear that 70s, when you hear that 70s beat come on, and you just see him walking down the street like
my bad. I'm sorry, everybody, dog. My bad. This boy said black.
That's what I said.
Fuck that. Mm-mm.
Dynamite.
Bro.
Dynamite.
Out of here, bro.
I'm done with you,
I
bro.
am not going to see this
I'm
fucking
done.
movie.
Yes,
This
will.
movie would have been,
done.
you know what? This movie, but it would have
I'm
been
done.
dope. It would have been dope in the late or early 60s, going to
70s.
70s with Jim
70s.
Kelly doing it. It would have been
Oh,
dope then.
God.
But fuck that. If I'm going to see this movie now, man, I don't know. Stop. I don't give a fuck. I'm not
I'm
going
in
to see it.
tears, yo.
I'm
in
not.
tears. That
Mm-mm.
boy said.
I am not. Give me my $100 now. Give me my money.
That boy said.
Give me my money.
Dynamite.
Give me my money.
God.
Give me my money.
You're
Okay.
gonna
I'm
write
so
me a
done.
check and I'm gonna frame that bitch and put it up
I'm
on my
done with
wall.
y'all.
Give me my money.
Yo, you're gonna be like, you're gonna see. He's a bad mother, and then Scarlet Witch is gonna come out like, shut your
Shut
mouth.
your mouth.
No, she's gonna erase the mouth. Shut
Yeah,
your
the
mouth.
race. Shut your damn mouth.
Out of here,
Gonna be
man.
Black Bolt and
No.
shit.
Vinny, the only person that I can see putting this shit up is Vic. Vic could be it'd be that one-off movie that Vic could put up and be like, yo, do y'all want to go see this shit
No
on a
doubt.
Friday? And I'll be like, nah, pass. I'm not gonna do it. I gotta show this.
Dynamite.
No, I'm
Dynamite.
not doing it. This, on the other hand, again, somebody said, I saw somebody in it said that, yeah, Rand's Jedi Kid got broke, bro. Somebody broke him tonight. But
It got me. That shit was funny as hell.
yo, but somebody in there said that they heard that Craven tested well. I don't
That's
even
the
know
one.
if they made the fucking movie.
They haven't
They
made
finished
the movie
it?
yet.
I don't even
I
know
didn't say.
they didn't even
They ain't
make,
finished that shit yet.
didn't
Yo,
even
that-
start it from what I believe. I don't think they
Nah.
started.
Look,
it.
every
Nah.
time
That's the
somebody
one
says
you
there was
ain't
a
gonna
test
see me
screening,
at.
No.
Nah, hell no. Craven the Animal Lover? Nah, I'll pass.
Look, I will tell you,
20-year-old
Craven.
I will straight up say,
Mhm.
from day one, their approach to that movie, I was skeptical. I have a sliver of hope now after seeing Aaron Taylor Johnson in Bullet Train. I'm like, all right, you know what? I could potentially see him as Craven. Now, whatever they do as far as the writing goes, that's to be determined. But the casting, I can see him in the role now.
I can't see Lemon hugging on zebras.
I don't
and
care how
hugging on
badass he was in
lions
the Bullet
and shit.
Train. He's not. He's too
Nah.
young. So no matter how badass he is,
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
see a young Craven. It just doesn't make.
Craven the Animal Lover.
It takes
Well,
away.
we've
what's
got
so-
a young Craven in comics right now.
Yeah, I think that's dumb too.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, nah.
Yo,
In my
Yeah.
personal opinion, it might work for other
Yeah.
people. If it does,
It
for
don't
you,
work.
More power to you. But that's part of why
He's
comic
always
book
been an
films
older
are all
cat, bro.
Subjective.
Like,
I love
nah.
that. I love that part of
The
his
gritty.
mystique is that he's a
Yeah.
grizzled vet.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
He's not as appealing to me as someone young and
Lemon
nah,
from Bullet
it's-
Train. Nah.
It just I feel like
Lemon
it
was
works
the
better
shit.
if they got a older
Yeah.
actor to play him. That's all.
In
So-
Bullet Train, he was a bomb, but I don't see him as Craven, bro. Animal loving Craven, hugging zebras and running with the lions and shit. Like, nah, that's not
Let's wait and see if
fucking
that's what they
Tarzan.
do.
I'm gonna wait and see
We'll
what
see.
they do, but I
Yeah, we'll
just
see.
know.
We'll see.
I see. I'm
We'll see.
no fuck out of here with a hypno hustler. But here's the thing, bro. I want to go. Fuck
Mm-mm.
that.
Mm-mm.
Fuck that. I don't even know why you brought that shit the fuck up. Fuck you, Brendan, for bringing that shit up, bro. Hypno hustler,
see
bro.
that
I would
shit.
never see that
Oh man,
shit. Fuck that. I don't know what they thought they were doing with that shit, but I am
this motherfucker in
never.
the bottom left.
I
talking
mean,
about
you
some
gotta
Black
give
Dynamite.
Sony thinking outside the box with fucking
He's
Madam
just
Web
a hustler, baby.
and Hypno Hustler
God.
and
Hell
El
no.
Muerto.
Hey,
Hell
wait,
no.
If you've got the
where he's
Spider-Man
about to go.
license, if you've got the Spider-Man license,
I'm in tears.
you're like, all right, name 3 movies that you're gonna make since you have the Spider-Man license. Okay, we're
First, it's
gonna
got to be
do
Spot.
El Muerto, Madam Web, and Hypno Hustler. Who
A
the
young
fuck
Madam
wanna
Web.
see that
I
stuff?
don't know,
A young
man.
Madam Web. Because when we think of Madam Web, we think of a teenager.
Yeah.
And you're gonna
Oh.
cast the chick from 50 Shades of Grey. Like,
Yeah, bro. See,
It's
no.
Madam
Uh-uh.
Web is
ice
old as
skating
hell.
uphill.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
They no.
Oh,
I'm good.
man.
Anyway, on a more positive note, I want to go to this one because this was a surprise
I'm
hit.
so done with y'all, bro.
This right
Oh
here
man,
was definitely a surprise hit of the
this
year
this
for
was
me.
Definitely
this
on my
was one of the
best
best. This one of the best.
This
ones.
was
Yeah.
like the best
Yeah.
and one of the best shows on TV as far as just the narrative, cohesiveness with the story, family, how it was driven, and the actress, she killed the role.
She killed it. Yeah,
I loved it from beginning. Yeah, it definitely killed it from the beginning to end. I loved everything about it. I can't wait to see, where she goes. Here's the thing, like the selfish part of me kind of wants me to keep it and keep her in the Disney Plus realm. I don't want it. It's sort of like, because I think that if they keep it contained like that, you can still write some good story. Even though I know, and it's just me selfishly, even though I know that they want to put this in an aspect of really making this character more central and an important character in the cinematic universe, which is a good entry because I think they did such a great job. I still kind of, I want to kind of shelter her away from it becoming like, we're her, we get her in the cinematic universe and then the story is just written and it becomes trash. You know what I mean? I just don't want that to happen. I'm skeptical. Again, I want to see the Marvels. I'm skeptical about it still. I'm just skeptical about it.
Well, that makes sense though, because what we loved about this show was the family dynamic. It was the dynamic with her friends. It was about her being that brown girl from Jersey City that like people don't expect to be a hero, right? And that's what was charming, and that's what brought us in, and learning about that a culture that we don't have as much exposure to, and getting to know that, so that's what we loved. That's largely going to be absent from the Marvels because that's not the focus of that movie. And so she's going to be in a completely different environment. So we don't know how her character is going to translate into the film side of the MCU with, Captain Marvel, with Monica Rambeau. And I love, I can't remember the actress's name, but I love the actress who's
her
playing
friend.
Monica. No, Monica Rambeau.
Monica.
I love the actress who's.
Oh, you talking about? Damn, I forget
her name. But she was great in WandaVision. I'm really looking forward to to seeing her.
I can't remember her name right now.
Her character was actually one of my other kind of big disappointments of the
Tiana, that's her name.
Because she is actually a part of the new Thunderbolts book, and she also just had her first issue of her own Photon.
That was this week. That's this week, right?
No, Photon was like a week or two ago.
I'm seeing that in the shop. Yeah,
and it just was like a lackluster launch for the character in that new book. So. Though I'm very hopeful for her iteration in the MCU, but I was kind of disappointed with how they handled her in the comics in 2022.
Yeah.
Now my only tidbit, I love the show. The first episode, I was like, oh God. And after that, I was wheels in, I was down. I loved it. But my only gripe was, damn, I wish they had the Terrigen Mist. But then you're like, you know what? They cleaned it up at the end.
But they handled it really well, making her a mutant.
Right,
they
at the end.
It really well.
That's what I'm about to say, yeah. So the people that wanted the Terrigen Mist part, they couldn't be disappointed because they kind of made her like the first mutant in the MCU. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is.
And you and that's the thing too, is like you didn't like that at the beginning, and that was lingering for you, but
the Terrigen Mist
at the end. So that's why it's like we have to. It's hard because sometimes we have to look at these Disney Plus series as a whole until they're finished. Like say, oh, you know what? You didn't have the Terrigen Mist early, and that bothered you. But the way they handled it, came at the end, and it was you got fucking goosebumps when you heard that X-Men.
I'm like, oh
right?
shit!
So it was like they did a good job, and we're like, okay. But some people will not like the fact that one thing is changed early on and then tune out from the series and not give it a chance after that. And that's when you're potentially screwing yourself out of a lot of enjoyment.
That's where you mess up though, because it's a series. You got to watch the whole thing. Yeah. So,
and sometimes it gets better and better, like Ms. Marvel.
It did.
Sometimes it
did. Oh,
which I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm so glad you brought that up. I want to. I mean, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But what I love about, definitely I am. I'm getting, definitely I am. I'm not gonna lie, because the hot toy looks dope.
Yep.
We're gonna. Thank you, Charlie.
Have they done a hot toy for her?
Thank you, Charlie.
I haven't seen one.
Do you not have Moon Knight queued up?
Thank you, Charlie. Because I was gonna talk about that. I was going to talk about that at the beginning, but we got kind of diverted. But
Oh, okay.
I'm so glad.
Mhm.
Thank you, Charlie. My man Charlie, thank you so much, brother. I'm so glad you brought that up. Because be remiss if we didn't actually talk about this, because I have my feelings about it. I loved the very beginning. I loved everything about this show up until the very end.
Except for the gaijins. The gaijins.
Up until the very end.
Moon Knight's
Everything
my-
about
Lael
this.
calls the
Moon Knight's
kaiju
my number
Kako.
2.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Moon Knight should
that's my
number
number
2.
2. Number
Yeah,
2.
so we're
I
gonna
love
talk
Moon
about
Knight.
that
I
right
love the Moon
now.
Knight show.
Best
That
or
Moon Knight
number
show
2
is
for
fire.
disappointment, Vinny?
Oh, best.
Okay.
That's one of the
As
best.
far as comic book shows, that's number 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Moon Knight was fire, bro.
Hopefully, we talk
Loved
about
it.
my number 1. I don't know if it's gonna be on the
Yeah.
show.
We'll
But we'll go
is
with Moon Knight.
it a
Moon
number
Knight.
one film or
No, as far as TV shows, Moon Knight's my number 2. I don't know if we're going to talk about my number 1 comic book show.
well, because my number one, I don't know what my number one this year wasn't really. It was a short, so I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, Werewolf by Night.
Yeah. My number
Yeah.
1 comic book show
Yeah.
is The Boys.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
jump into that. We'll jump into that. But
Mhm.
okay, so Moon Knight. I had high expectations for it, and I think it lived up to those expectations up until the last episode for me.
Mhm.
And that's just me. I enjoyed the show the whole way fucking through. I loved everything about it and couldn't wait for the next episode.
Ethan Hawke.
The emotional beats were there. Ethan
Yeah, he
Hawke was
killed it.
dope.
Yeah.
They
Ethan
killed
Hawke
it. You know, I definitely loved everything about it. But the ending for me, you know, even though they gave us the Red Scarab, the ending for me just kind of fell short. But other than that, I
Come
love the
on.
show. That ending, I liked the last episode. I did not like the
I
last episode.
loved it though,
I
bro.
did
He
not like
popped
the
his
last
ass in that
episode
limousine.
at all,
I
because
loved
the thing is to tease Jake Lockley
Mhm.
the way they did.
They were saving
Season
some
2.
shit.
Season
all.
2.
I know they wanted to
Season
save
2.
this shit, and I get that, and I understand it, bro. But I think Jake Lockley had a lot of importance, bro. I think that it would have been more important to bring him in, even though if you're going to keep it small, I mean, you can keep it small, but just bring him in as a little bit more. Give us a little bit more mystery around him, because we all know on that last episode
I think you'll
who
appreciate
fucked everybody up.
But
I think
season
you're
2
gonna
is coming. Trust me.
Yeah, I think you're going to appreciate season 1 a lot more when we get season 2.
Yeah.
When Jake is center stage for the majority of it, because
Yep.
I feel like then you'll be like, okay, you know what? They did such a good job in season 2. Fingers crossed, hopefully.
Yeah.
That you're happy with the fact that they didn't try and shoehorn him into
Yeah.
season 1.
Yeah.
So I understand the feeling right now, but I think your feeling will change once the season 2 drops and you can watch them back to back and you're like, okay, I'm glad that we have Jake in season 2 and it wasn't just rushed in season 1, because they had a lot of ground to cover in trying to introduce the personalities of Stephen Grant and Mark Spector as it is, and just introducing people who don't know Moon Knight to Moon Knight, because Moon Knight has been one of my favorite books this year in the comics. It's the art has been fucking stunning, and I feel like with Hunter's Moon and all these, it's been so damn good this year. It's one of my favorite books of the year. And that's kind of what I want to see more of. I want to see that midnight mission. I want to see him protecting those that travel at night. I want to see him in New York, right? I want to see him cross paths with a Daredevil, with a Punisher, with a, Spider-Man, with those guys. And so that's because I feel like this show was more Mark Spector, Stephen Grant.
Yeah.
Not
It
necessarily
was a setup, though.
Moon
A definite setup for Jake, man.
Season 2, I want to see more Moon Knight, and then see Jake and how he factors into that. But like, if you haven't read Moon Knight, and they're only on issue 17, I think, or right now or so, start at number 1 for this current run. This latest volume of Moon Knight in the books has been great.
Yeah, I just, again, I'm hoping that, because again, we already know that they did tease, or they when they talk to fucking, I keep forgetting his name,
Khonshu?
Oscar Isaac, when they talked to him, he basically did say that it is, in discussion, definitely is, they don't know when, but I think he knows when. I think the standout to me of this, not just him, but I think the other standout to me was May Calloway as Layla. I loved her
She
character
was
the
so
entire
good.
way
She
through.
was awesome.
Like
She
she
was
was
awesome, man.
definitely good the whole way
The
through.
whole show.
Ethan Hawke he's going to do Ethan Hawke. Like he's just dope.
Yeah,
Like
he did it.
he was dope. I knew it from the first episode when he put those shoes on with the broken glass in it. I was like, yep. And
That shit was so good.
it was his idea to start that one first. So
Because
again,
that scene was supposed to be in the second episode, and he told them that we got to move that up to the
we got to move that up, and they did it, and it worked. It was effective. Oscar Isaac killed it. I mean, I loved everything about it. It was just them fucking kaijus at the end, bro, that I was like, nah, I'm out. It just took me out of it, bro.
I just want to see more Saffron Hawking. We need more steak date.
There you go.
We're never going to talk about Moon Knight without me bringing that chick up.
Yeah.
I mean, the girl from the museum.
Yeah. He's gonna always bring her up, bro. Like
the one that got away.
Yeah, she definitely got away, man.
I think that show has the biggest potential for a season 2 that really blows the doors off the place, right? Because they laid the groundwork, and we as Moon Knight fans know all the cool shit that they can now do because they've introduced the character, right?
Because we know Marvel can do action. It's so on the emotional beats. They got that part right, so we know that when they get to the action, we're good.
Yeah,
but this is another show that didn't have all the jokey jokes. It was like they had little. It
had humor, but again, it was balanced.
It was balanced, right? You can balance humor and have a good show. So when you have
all that weight of how fucked up his character is, and then you add an action, because we've seen in the action sequences, it's like they have so much more weight because you know how messed up in his mind is. So when they're balancing between him being other characters and people shooting at him and doing all this shit, once that's more a part of the show to bring in people who maybe just don't care as much about the dialogue and the emotional stuff, and so you have more for everybody. Like I think we'll get in season 2. I feel like it's going to be a home run for him on all fronts instead of just for 100%. Fans of psychological thrillers and fans of the comics who know, trust me, that shit's coming. Because fans of Moon Knight comics, we've gone on stretches where we read like half the arc is just exposition and setup, and there's not much action, and we love it because it's so interesting.
Listen, the part
Moon Knight isn't so much.
Yeah, Moon Knight isn't a comic where you're just reading it in 5 seconds.
Complex,
every page
very
is
complex
action. Like it's not a Punisher comic where it's mostly just him fucking people up. It's a different bag of so that's
their whole pages of just him in a therapy session,
and so fans of Moon Knight, like going into it, we knew that, but it was a tough sell for them to push that.
Listen, man.
But now that they've done it,
we got,
dude.
Yeah, now that they've done it, the doors are open and the thing is, if you look at he's got great interactions with so many other characters. That's why, again, having Daredevil and stuff, I'm super psyched. I would love to see them cross paths.
But Moon Knight,
he's had great interactions with Doctor Strange is another one. Have him head over to Bleecker Street, right? There was a great line in the Strange series right now too, where somebody, I won't say who, but somebody was asking Clea, how's it been with you as the Sorcerer Supreme right now? And be like, oh, everybody's been great to me. Moon Knight was a delight, and this person was like, who was a what now? Because Moon Knight has a rep in the books. People fucking know. Oh Jesus, right? So he's got so many good interactions with these other characters, but you also don't need to rely on other A-list characters to sell him because he's got a great supporting cast too. Whether it's however you want to pronounce it, Tigra, whatever you want to, however you want to pronounce her name. But between her, Hunter's Moon is a character I would love to see in the show because I love the dynamic right there. Werewolf by Night, again, there, Elsa Bloodstone. There are a lot of characters that can really do well in crossing over with him and exploring his corner, right? Black Knight at some point, Blade, depending on how those things suss out. So there's a lot of potential for Moon Knight, both on his own and with those other characters. I would love to see. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to see Moon Knight get more of the Daredevil treatment, where it's a longer season, not necessarily 18 episodes. But don't do like 6 or 7. Like, give us like at least 10.
I need 12.
Give us at least 10 episodes, something like that. You know,
give us like a couple of episodes that we can kind of feel. But all in all, like I said, for me,
listen,
I enjoyed it. It's just that last episode. We're gonna say, Jason,
I feel
this show, man, especially the middle episode. I think with the third episode, we got to see how Mark Spector evolved in his mind. He was his protection personality, bro. To see him go through that as a kid, I was like, wow. Bro, that one had me in tears.
Oscar Isaac just did a phenomenal
third episode.
Job with that.
Oscar Isaac killed that. Bro.
Yeah,
like I don't see how anyone can walk away and say this show was bad or whatever. Or that. Listen,
he was
that
amazing.
third episode had me messed up. I was like, damn.
And the cinematography and the CG all supported those performances too, and really drove it home. I'll tell you this honestly, right now, while most 99% of me wants to see, eventually him introduced in the, theater on the big screen. I would not object at all to seeing Mephisto show up in a Moon Knight season
2. That'd be good. Yeah, I would love to see that.
Mephisto and Khonshu and Moon Knight and their whole I'd be down for that.
Yeah, because again, people have to also remember that
I mean, even the shit out all the Avengers because of Mephisto.
But even Mephisto himself at one point had an avatar. You know what I mean? So there's a lot that they could actually bring into it that would be super dope. Even basically, he even tested the theory of even making Mark Spector his avatar because of his dark past. So again, it's certain things that could be done. It's just that I don't know if the MCU would actually travel down that road, but we'll see. Next up, and Vinny, we'll get to you in a minute, Vinny, what you were talking about, but I want to kind of bring this up because I want to show DC some love, man. Because I want to get your thoughts on this film. I mean, again, we got the Batman this year, which I was definitely myself skeptical about. I know others were. But after watching the film, I was like blown the fuck away. I was like, okay, I can get it. Here's the thing. I had reservations. I'm not going to lie. I was blown away because I like the darker tone, but I like the simple fact that we did get the more so the detective value of him as Batman. I don't know. I'm just going to say this in a nice way. I was not fond of the Riddler at all. That was just me.
Very annoying.
It was annoying. His interpretation of the character was annoying. And I think at aspects, certain times it got over the top. The Penguin, on the other hand, was dope as
classic. Classic.
Colin Farrell, man.
Classic.
Colin Farrell killed that fucking role, and I cannot wait. And I was like, I didn't think that I was going to want to see a Penguin show, bro. But now I cannot wait. I remember when
I saw that jump. I saw it because my people sent me the whatever, and I saw it, and I told y'all, boy, I said, listen, man, this movie is going to be good. I didn't like the main. The Riddler's look. It was like, what is it? Just too much. It was too much.
It was okay in the suit, but when it was Paul Dano just acting,
it was just it was too much. But other than that, man,
it was too much. But
I enjoyed it. That Joker scene at the end.
I could have done without the Joker at the end.
I liked it, bro. I
don't know how I feel about the aesthetics for me. It just
I like his face, bro. I like his face though.
It was too, but the chemistry between Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz, she
that was to the moon.
She definitely killed
People
it.
Don't give her enough credit for how good
at all. We don't have a hot toy figure yet.
They definitely don't give her how good she was as a character. She killed it as the role. I mean, bro, Vinny, we still haven't seen it at your crib, bro.
Anytime.
We still haven't seen it at your crib.
when we
Mhm.
when we did,
Yes.
Mhm.
the last time everybody was over, I threw it on for a couple minutes to show everybody the Batmobile scene. And it was crazy. Just
It was
shook the whole
crazy.
fucking house.
Everybody over
Yeah,
like who?
it's
The room? You
nah.
brought
When
the.
we had the horse on, you missed the horse
Oh,
on.
okay.
I threw it on when we were
Yeah.
in between, just to because I think Vic wanted to hear that Batmobile scene. I was like, all right, let me just throw at least this on.
Mhm.
I feel like it could have been maybe like a half hour cut from it. It would maybe help the pacing just a little bit, but I completely get the tone and the mood that they were going for, and it worked like at least 90% of the time. There's only a few parts where it was like
It's like they were going for like a hush type deal.
some of the times it felt like they were, being artsy for artsy's sake, and they could have sped it up a little bit. And then there was other times where the methodical nature of it was like absolute Batman, and it really worked. And I really didn't like Pattinson's Bruce Wayne, and that's obviously they try to flip the dynamic on his head, as it's more that Bruce Wayne is what he has to work on being, as opposed to Batman is what he has to work on being. Which is an interesting, dichotomy, but it is, it's just something that just like when he's giving Alfred lip and being just like, not getting that part is important.
Disrespectful to him.
It kind of was tough to watch, because there's not really an era of Batman comics where it's Bruce that doesn't, know how to, because it's a mask for basically as long as I've been reading it. There's not really a story where he doesn't get that he has to be fake, and so that was tough. But the detective part is literally something anybody who's ever like talked Batman with me in the past in my whole life has heard me bitch about him not being a detective since 1989 on film. In every comic book, every animated series, every animated film, it's always Batman is strategic and a detective. But on film, ever since Keaton's Batman, all we've pretty much seen is raw punch, kick, and that's it. No fucking crime solving. Even in Nolan's Batman's is he has other people doing the shit. It's like Black Panther. He has a Shuri instead of it being him. Like he has
that one scene where he's firing bullets into the bricks to try and that was like,
that was the only time I see him doing any kind of detective work.
And when he uses the cell phone tech to find Bane, but he does that off screen. Like they don't even show him doing that, and you know what I mean. So they don't even show that. It's
more just Lucius Fox.
That was Fox's work.
Yeah, it's like, and the comics is like Batman builds all of his fucking cars and tech, and like he has help do it, but it's not like it's just like somebody saying, "Oh, okay, so here's all these gadgets, go have fun." It's him fucking coming up with the shit, and even if he has help, it's his ideas and his genius at work.
Lucius designs them for him.
Yeah, we definitely got more
cool
of the detective.
Seeing him be a detective. That was something that was very long time missing from the films, and I feel like it's just really important for him to see that the strategy and the detective aspect being put back into the character, and the tone is what was so great. Like just him methodically walking, like and just like when he gets out of the Batmobile and that Batmobile chasing and just slowly walking to Batman as that orchestra is ramping up is
when Penguin's like upside down.
It's fucking hard.
Yeah.
The movie was brilliant. I do think it fell into the same problem that the criticism that I have of practically every Batman movie is that they criminally underuse Alfred. And I feel like you had an actor like Andy Serkis. You had an actor like Andy Serkis.
That's the best.
He was great in what we saw of him, but there could have been so much more. Just like when you had what's his name, Jeremy Irons, right? In the Snyderverse, it's like, oh my god, him and Ben Affleck, could have done so much more with that that relationship.
Jeremy Irons Alfred made so much sense because you had that, like he was a butler, but you had that tent of, okay, this dude has served, he knows, like
right.
Part of what makes Alfred cool is
but like, he also was a bit of his father
different versions of him where like he knows different things, but having it where he knows about war and and weapons and is also knows how to be a field medic to stitch him up. Like those are all things that are important.
That's
that are just
the real Alfred. Yeah.
And if in the movies they haven't touched on how important that relationship is and how much he really leans on Alfred. Because look, even in the Nolan trilogy, which I love Christopher Nolan's work,
he just has whining over him all the time.
And at the end he leaves, and it's like Bruce is like upset, but like it's at the very end, and he just kind of goes on. And it's like, no, that should have destroyed Bruce, right? Like there's so, if you read the books, there's so much to their relationship beyond the.
Alfred is supposed to be like, yo, don't be stupid. Now come here so I can sew you up. Like, here, do this next time. Because not like stop it every fucking day telling him to quit. Like, that's not Alfred.
Because you look at the fact that he had him for so many years after his parents died. So it wasn't just like, his butler. He turned like a kind of a surrogate father type to him as well.
Yeah, Michael Caine crying over Batman being Batman for 3 movies was a lot.
That being said, that was probably my biggest I agree that it could have been like 20 minutes shorter for pacing and stuff. But the Alfred part, that was my biggest story gripe, and that I just saw it as a missed opportunity.
He was too disrespectful to Alfred.
But the movie itself, I think, was really good, and it's good that you bring it up too, because a writer who was uncredited on, even though he contributed for like 7 months, was uncredited on this one, but is credited as actually co-writing the upcoming sequel to this with Matt Reeves, is Mattson Tomlin, who wrote one of my favorite indie picks from this year, which is A Vicious Circle. And this is the one that he did with Lee Bermejo. It's a 3-part story, and they've released the first one. It's magazine format, but this one is absolutely phenomenal.
Pulled up a QVC commercial just now,
dude. And the art in this thing is next level. I'm telling you,
that's it.
Like, everybody needs to check this out. Mattson Tomlin wrote it, and he's co-writing the Batman 2.
He did that shit.
Bro, it's how he did it.
Brendan did that shit. Yo, you gotta do the hand. You gotta put the hand in front of the book while you hold it. Like the Vanna White. There you go.
Bro, it's how he did this shit.
He sold
real
that
quick.
Shit. Boom, baby. He sold that shit.
He was like, yo, B. He was like, yo, B. He was like, yeah. And he's like, and you know what? And especially considering the simple fact that he was also.
He sold that shit.
But
it
was true, right?
They're gonna buy it. They're gonna buy it today.
And if you act now,
get that book.
They're gonna buy that shit.
If you act now, we can offer it to you for $4.
Only thing he slipped on, but he didn't do this.
$49.99.
If he did this,
send it to me.
The Vanna White, you'd have had it perfect.
Operators are standing by.
That's your only flaw, bro. You didn't do this.
Major cards,
God damn it. He got shit on hand for everything.
Yeah,
he's like, I know they're gonna mention this. Let me just put this right there.
No, but I legit have this because this is one of my favorite indie books from Boom Studios of the year. And it's just it works for this because
they gonna buy it. They gonna buy it.
Writer on this first movie. He's co-writing the second one.
They gonna buy it. I might buy that shit tonight.
The art in this is all Lee Bermejo. And Lee Bermejo, his most famous work is on Batman.
Yeah,
they gonna buy it.
It works. It's all there. That's what I'm saying.
They gonna buy it, bro.
But wait. There's more.
There's more.
Yeah. Out next month is issue number 2. He's gonna keep going, but I'm gonna show you motherfuckers. Look at the art in this book, baby. Okay? This shit is beautiful.
Bro, they gonna buy this shit, dog. You done did it. You done did it.
But no, the ridiculous thing. So for people who don't know, look at that shit. Look at that shit.
God,
I'm gonna tell you guys right now.
I'm done, dog.
Society, come on, this is some crazy.
Yo,
for people who don't know,
they gonna buy it, bro. You done showed it.
All in on this, so now I'm gonna fucking say it.
You done showed it now.
The whole point of this book is
they gonna buy it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna Google it tonight.
There are 2 characters
shit.
I'm gonna download it.
Anytime one of them kills somebody, they both jump randomly from one era in time to another. Could be in the future, could be in the. That's why you've got. They start off in like the Jim Crow South, but you got fucking dinosaurs, you got burning crosses, you got futuristic tech. So they jump every time one of them.
You know who's going to buy that?
They
you know who's going to buy it, bro?
Me.
Put it up again. You know who's going to buy it because she's actually watching right now. She already said it. She already said it. You see that, right?
Who said it?
I knew it.
But no, Leo, here's the all jokes aside, though, here's the cool fucking thing about this book. In addition, how well the writing is done. Every time there's a death, every time, damn, somebody's just fucking having a tables, ladders, and chair match back there. Every time they jump to a new era, right? Every time somebody dies and they jump times, Lee Bermejo changes the art style, completely changes it. So it's like, you start off and you're in this very photorealistic, like black and white, right? But they jump times, and then all of a sudden you're in this like very colorful, like splash, and he does that like 5 or 6 different times throughout each issue, like when they jump times, and to be able to alter your art style so drastically for that, and use that as a storytelling tool, it's fucking amazing. And the writing and the art in this is, I'm telling you, it's one of my best recommendations from 2022.
You just sold motherfuckers on this shit. And
good. I'm glad. That's why I make a fucking recommendation. They should fucking get that book.
Brendan, bro, I swear to God, bro, that made my night. That definitely made my night.
I'm telling you, Leo, take Toya down to your LCS tomorrow.
She's already on it. She already said she needs a copy, so I'm not going to live it down. I'm definitely not going to live it down.
Get it, and then I want to hear back, because I guarantee you're going to be like, yeah, you were right. I guarantee it.
Okay, so V, there you go, bro. I mean, I can't. I'm not going to lie. This last fucking season was fucking brilliant. Like on
bananas, bro.
On so many different levels. Even the orgy was fucking funny. But literally this entire season. Brendan, did you watch it?
I haven't watched this season yet. I'm going to, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
You gotta watch this fucking season.
This was the best one.
I heard great things. I also heard I'm a big fan of Jensen Ackles. And he plays Soldier Boy in this.
You will be a bigger fan once you see him in this.
And I'm actually a big fan of Supernatural. I thought he was great on that show back.
To see him as a dickhead Captain America was everything, bro.
You know, the funny thing is though that Jensen Ackles even said that he really pushed hard to try and get the role of Joel. The Last of Us on HBO, I think he would have been great.
He'd have been better.
I really do.
Pedro
Pascal, it's like you can't really pass him up, but like. All right, so I haven't seen this season yet, but you guys go about it,
bro.
I love the.
I loved it,
and one of the fun parts of reading Garth Ennis comics is it's like wherever you think the line is, he figures out a way to just go past it. And part of the fun of the show is knowing just how fucked up the comics are and watching them. Just imagining what their board, what their pitch meetings are when they say, "Okay, we're gonna have this scene," and just picturing what the fuck the reaction is to that, because the comics are just absolutely batshit crazy. It's almost like a vehicle for him to just come up with the just most insane shit that he could think of and throw it on screen and or on the page, and they just translate so much of it, and they put their own spin on a lot of it and make work within the confines of the show. And this season was absolutely insane, but as much as it's insane, it never feels like it's just stupid fun. It goes somewhere. Like all the different crazy shit that they do, like it has a point. And there was a great, there was a road they took throughout this whole season. There was a journey. Like so many of the characters on the show grew, and I feel like that, ironically, is a switch up from the comic. There's very, very few, television or film properties that comic book fans will say, oh, the comic book was, better is always what we all say, right? But The Boys improves on the character growth
every season
of everybody. I mean, the comic is a lot of just toilet humor and powers and silliness, and there's not much actual meat. And this show is a lot of actual character exposition and growth mixed in with fucking insanity and toilet humor and all that good shit too. But like, man, Butcher's character arc in this is fucking like, it's really incredible. The decisions that he makes in this is just really emotional. There's a lot of fucking amazing storylines throughout, and there's subplots throughout the show, like that like Frenchie and his shit going on, and Mother's Milk and all their shit is heavy, and it's so much heavier than it is in the comic. And the comic's a lot of just fluff and silliness, but the show takes that and is like, all right, cool, but what if we actually make them care about these fucking characters, so that when this crazy shit happens, it matters. And The Boys does that. Every single episode of this season was fucking fire. Incredible writing, incredible special effects, just amazing all the way through this season. I was just like, this shit is incredibly good. Like, so much better than it has any right to be for what it is, because the book was kind of just like, oh, here's my let's just fuck around with the Justice League joke type of comic. And the television writers have been like, yeah, but it could be more, and it is now.
It definitely is more. And the way they've done it, the way they've even like this season, I think this season with Homelander was like probably out of all three seasons, all pretty much all seasons, was the best I've seen him. Like the best I've seen this iteration of that character. And again, we already know what happens with the character of Black Noir.
Yeah,
without going so far. But
that Black Noir episode with the backstory.
Wow.
He got messed up, bro. It was brilliant how they did it, because seeing it through his eyes and how they allowed him, like literally that shit was dope as fuck. Like,
it was dope.
This season, like in general, like even like, man, the way they make Butcher so much of an asshole-ish character, but then you understand more so why he's that way. It was, to me, like literally they continue to push the needle forward in such a tragically and possibly incredible way, bro. Like, it is by far, like, even Latoya was like, yo, majestic writing, majesty writing. It was incredible.
From episode 1, from the party.
Yeah, bro.
I'm like, no, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that, dude. With the Ant-Man dude, I was like, no, please don't do that.
And they did it.
And when it happened, I was like, what the hell? Blew me away, bro. Like I said,
no holds barred. They gave it to you straight with no chaser, bro. And that's what I love.
Every episode this season was like that, bro.
Yep, it was dope, Brendan. I'm telling. And here's the thing, Brendan, I can't believe you haven't seen it, because this is the show you would fucking love.
Like, no, believe me, I've seen a chunk of the show. I just haven't seen this third season. I'm all on board with it. I just haven't gotten around to it. But like,
bro,
we're working on season
that right now. My wife and I literally we woke up this morning and we're like, told the kids to like fuck off and fend for themselves, and we just spent the day in bed binging shows. So we're catching up on stuff. It's just
bro,
there, but this is definitely high on the list.
It is, bro. The thing is, it's like every time I'm like, this is one of those shows, and the beauty of it is the simple fact that every season makes you want more, even when you're skeptical about where are they going to go with this season? Is it going to make sense? Like, am I going to want to see even what they basically did with A-Train's character? Was dope as fuck. Like,
the way they handled it.
Yeah, the way they handled it was dope as fuck. So it's just like they're taking modern situations now, but they don't do it to where it's in your face.
That's what I mean by the way they handled it, because it's like the idea was obvious, but the way they handled it was nuanced.
Yeah,
like they handled it with nuance.
I like how A-Train got that boy too. I love
exactly. But it was the beauty of it and how they did it. That's why I loved it, man. I think it was incredible, bro. Like, Listen, everybody out there, there's so much that we could talk about. Like, I mean, again, like one of my favorites, again, we'll touch on, some other time, but, there was, honorable mentions. We have, again, we're talking about, shows such as Werewolf by Night, which was only a short, which is incredible. I love every bit of that show. Werewolf by Night, certain highs, certain lows that we won't even we don't have much time to get in with the interest of time because I know we got to go. But again, if you watch this video, even put in like the chat or not even in the chat, like just send us a message, put up in, or in the comments, some of your highs, some of your highlights, some of your low.
I still have to watch Titans. I haven't watched season 4 yet.
Yeah, Titans is really good too.
I haven't gotten through the whole way, but
I'm almost done with it.
I'm going to do that this week.
I didn't rank it because I haven't finished 4 yet either, so I can't.
I'm almost done with it.
Yeah. As soon as I'm done with it,
it's on my list. I'm going to do it this week.
Yeah, it starts out good, but it's things that you won't understand.
Superboy's a dickhead now. You'll see.
Yeah, you'll see.
I feel like Peacemaker's in the best area. Black Adam, Black Panther, obviously. So there are some other honorable mentions.
There's some honorable mentions definitely that we'll cover. But again, thank you guys for being here.
The holiday special. The holiday special was good too.
Holiday special was dope as well. So again, as a short, so I hope they dip more into that too because they can date that. There's wealth in that. You could take some obscure characters that you want to bring out. They could have did a whole fucking Man Thing short, and that would have been dope. You know what I mean? But again, we don't know where they're going to go with it, but we just got to kind of wait and see. But again, thank you guys out there, man. It's a lot going on. Everybody, if you haven't followed everybody on the channel, man. Again, I got the links to the channel in the subscriptions, like whether it's not their channels or their Instagram pages. Make sure you basically do that. I gotta go. I gotta run because, like I said, I got some stuff to do myself. But again, next week, you said you wanted to talk about Vinny. Who would you want to talk about next week? Who are we gonna?
McFarlane, right?
Todd
McFarlane.
Yeah.
We'll talk about McFarlane. And we'll go into some of that. Well, again, we'll discuss it behind the scenes of what we're going to talk about. I want everybody's idea, whatever run because we, Jason, we still didn't get a run from you yet that you want to cover.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let me know what you want to cover. Put it in the message board, and I put it up on the thumbnail for next Monday. Okay. We'll talk about it. But anyway, if you haven't already, follow Jedi Pimp on Instagram as well. Vinny, the link to his store is on the actual page as well. He got some great pieces that you can actually get. Anything you want to request, you can actually get. Follow Butt Naked. They love saying it. They just love to say it. Like it's just there now. Follow Collector Without Fear on Instagram, hashtag Bucket Naked. Make sure you do so. But anyway, thank you guys for actually being here till next Monday, man. And look, if we don't get a chance to talk to y'all before then, y'all have a nice New Year's, man.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year, yo.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year, guys.
Don't drink too much. Stay inside if you have to. If you feel the need to drink a lot, stay your ass inside.
Casamigo.
Exactly. But again, thank you guys for being here. It was a great show. We'll do one of these often where we just kind of ring and just start talking about different things, man. But it was a great show. Thank you guys for being here tonight. As always, till next week, man. Peace and love. As always, stay safe this week. Again, if you get some butt naked photos in your inbox, it wasn't one of the three individuals. It definitely wasn't one of the three. Nah, I mean, so hey, he does what he do.
All right, anyway, now everybody go get cheeks.
I'm headed out.
That's why everybody got to go
right now.
We out.
That's how you break.
QVC, quality value.
That's how you break from the huddle. It's cheeks.
Motherfucking man, these motherfuckers, boy.